Hello, everyone. I am Sacrabalic, your envoy of hope, and welcome to the Cold Topic Podcast, episode 24, the finale, or is it dun dun dun? Here with
And
my co-host, ConquertheJohn. John, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm good. I'm doing great. It's been a while.
I'm pretty good. Yeah, it's been like 2 months, so we have like 800 topics.
We do, yeah.
No, I'm pretty
Well,
okay.
uh,
Um, what you been up to?
I've been working a lot. I've been working like 55, 60 hours a week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's been a lot of fun. But I do like my new job. It's a lot of fun. And now I'm finally in my actual store, so now I can not work 55, 60 hours a week.
Nice, nice,
So it's pretty cool.
nice.
And I'm a lot closer to hope now, so it makes it easier. But other than that, I've been watching shitty reality TV. I've been
Oh,
watching a
always
lot of Cat
terrible
Search.
time.
Me last stream a reference to Resident Evil Not John's Dead. It was a lie, he's back. Yeah, I didn't die. I've just been extremely busy.
Near
Lately,
dead.
unfortunately.
He's
I
near
was
dead.
near death.
Yes.
Yeah, I was near on top of dead. I was almost near replicant, maybe. I was almost dead.
I don't get the reference, and I've played those games, so.
Right. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun these last couple months. Yeah, but I'm ready to get back into things.
Oh.
I could even do a hiatus stream because I'm so
Yeah.
fucking busy.
So
Today
what
was
have
fancy,
you been
I
streaming?
literally nothing.
And why is that?
No time.
That's not what I was fishing for.
What?
That's not what I was fishing for. You went on hiatus. That's what I was fishing for.
Oh yeah, I
You
went
got
on
to
a
announce that
hiatus.
shit.
Yeah, I'm on a hiatus right now
There
until I
you
can
go.
figure out stuff
Yes.
and have
Except
time.
except for this podcast for some reason.
Yes. Well, it's easier because it's like we already have everything planned. Like when I got to stream, I got to figure out what game I'm gonna play.
Mhm.
Is we decided to eat that. I know. I saw you stream that the other day. I'm like, fuck, that's right. Oh, like goddamn. But yeah, a little bit of a hiatus. It's easy to do this because like I already know what I'm talking about. I don't have to figure anything out, and it's also most of the time very minimal setup. So it's just a lot easier. But yeah, what have you been up to in the last few months?
So we finally finished The Walking Dead. We finished season 2, season 3, and season 4. And then Horror Month started up. And the idea for Horror Month, we already have the games announced for Horror Month, but we'll see if we can do them all. The idea for Horror Month was Resident Evil 6, Fatal Frame 4, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, Kuwan, and Tormented Souls. But unknown to me, Resident Evil 6 is like a 60-hour game. So so the next Resident Evil stream is probably going to be the last one, but it is like eaten the entirety of the month because I wasn't aware that this was going to be a 7-part game.
It's that long?
It is that long. Yeah.
Jeez.
There's 20 chapters. Each chapter ranges from 1 to 2 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah.
We beat what? Resident Evil 5 in like what, 3 streams, something like that?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's crazy. Yeah. I every other Resident Evil has been a 1, 2, 3 stream game. This is where the next one will be stream 7. That will be the one that finishes it off. I am flabbergasted by how like I was utterly unprepared for the length of Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, I would assume it wouldn't be that long, yeah.
None of the others were. It was just I've also played like Revelations off stream. It's not that long either. Like it just comes out of nowhere. They're like, yeah, we're gonna make the longest game in the franchise. This game is like all. Theoretically, I could play Resident Evil 1 through 5 on stream and then finish them before Resident Evil 6 gets finished.
Well, I was sad that I was missing out on it, but now I'm not sad because it sounds like a time sink.
So fucking long. It's not even like it is completely exaggerated how bad this game is. And completely understated how long this game is. Like, it's really not a bad game. Resident Evil 5 is, like, worse in every way, but Resident Evil 5 would have been done by now, so I guess take that how you will.
Yeah, that's true. Resident Evil, yeah. I mean, the thing about Resident Evil 5 was like, it was short, right to the point, and it was terrible, but we had some fun.
It's like putting peroxide in an open wound. It hurts and it sucks, but it's over quickly.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, it's pretty.
Resident Evil 6 is like crawling 3 miles on all fours. It's really not that bad, but done over a long enough period of time, it starts to become an irritant.
Like Poison Ivy.
I don't think I'm affected by Poison Ivy. I don't think I have the allergy.
Really?
I don't think so.
Oh, I didn't know it was like a thing. Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it's actually a shockingly high amount of people. I think it's like, it's either 60% of people are affected or 60% of people aren't. But it's a little more than 50-50 in one direction.
Good band.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I said that we're going to keep going with Horror Month regardless of the length of Resident Evil 6, even if we have to bleed into November, because that's fine with me. I'm fine with that. The only other game I'm worried about is Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, because it's a Wii game, and I don't have a lot of experience with Wii emulation. I've been
are
told
you using Dolphin?
Huh?
Dolphin?
Yes, Dolphin.
Yeah.
I've been told if you set your PS4 controller up as a server, you can use it as motion controls, and it's actually better than a Wiimote for motion controls. So that's what we're going to go to, but that's the one I'm not fully sure how it's going to work. I probably should have ran a test, but I have not. The other two games should be fine. One of them's on Steam, and the other one I've managed to work most of the bugs out with.
Yeah, Wii emulation is fun.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, then after that, I think it's like Metal Man Battle Network or some shit.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah. And then I redid my entire stream schedule. You can go look that up if you want on the queue. It's a different order. It's just supposed to be more digestible for me, so I'm in less pain as I stream the game. Because I just, after the agony that was The Walking Dead, I just wanted something digestible, so we moved on for like Assassin's Creed. So, but other than that, I've actually been streaming more.
That's good though.
Mm-hmm. So, my anime channel has managed to keep a consistent upload schedule. That's doing great. It's growing at a weirdly alarming rate. It was just like most videos would get like 2-3 views tops, and then out of nowhere, like the average video has shot up to like 20 views, with some getting like 100 views now. And I gained like, and this is the weirdest part, in like the past like 5 days, I've gained like 20 subscribers. Like it just it's exploding out of nowhere, and I don't know why. But I think it really does have a lot to do with like Reheated and Popcorn being more digestible as shows.
Yeah, the shorter form content normally does pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but I did release a longer form video. Water, like 21, 22, something like that. I did a full review of the Evangelion Rebuild films. So,
yeah, I saw that you posted that.
And that's it. That's all I've been doing. Personal life. Grandma Sack. I've been taking care of her because she hurt her legs. It's nothing serious. She did too much gardening. And she weakened her leg joints, so that's been a thing. I've been like lending her my like DVD and Blu-ray collection. She's watching like Toradora right now. Yeah, that's all I've been up to.
Yeah, I went on a mini vacation.
Ooh.
Last week, yeah.
I've been on the opposite of vacation.
Oh yeah, I went 5 days up to Vermont with my girlfriend and the kids and stuff like that, and I just played my Steam Deck.
Nice. Which I think you're using as a way to transition into our first topic.
Oh yeah, no, but yes.
All right.
That was totally totally what I was gonna do with that. Yeah, first topic. My review, short form review of the Steam Deck. boy, I love this thing
Okay.
because it's my favorite thing to emulate on. Because I can bring it wherever, and I got it was a Nintendo Switch controller that's kind of like set up like the Xbox like Elite controller.
Mhm.
I got it for $30 in Vermont. So
Ooh.
ever since I got that controller, everything's been fantastic on this thing. 'Cause now I don't need any wires and stuff like that, and I got a nice little dock. I can hook it up to TVs. It's not super heavy. It's a fun little console to use.
It
My
looks
biggest
gigantic.
It's definitely bigger than the Switch by a good portion.
And the Switch is also gigantic.
Yeah. So comparing it to the OLED, it's definitely bigger.
So it's colossal for using D&D sizes.
Yeah, it's colossal, yeah. I haven't had any issues with it. I did have to wipe the entire thing after the first time because I fucked up on something. And I somehow because this thing also runs on Linux, which I'm not 100% used to.
Mm-hmm.
So I fucked up like when I was adding games to the actual deck because you have to do everything in desktop mode on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I like erased all the files and stuff somehow of a whole bunch of things. So I had to reformat the entire thing.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I had to spend a whole another day off redoing everything, which was a lot of fun because you can pick all your games box art, and that takes a long time because I have to go through about 2,000 games.
Ooh. That's more games than
So,
I
yeah.
got.
Yeah, my biggest complaint though is the fact that like not a lot of like a whole lot of like my Steam library is actually compatible with it. So there's like a lot of games that I'm like I really want to play this, but it's easier to play this like right when I'm about to go to sleep than sitting in my room, and I can't play them. Like Devil May Cry HD collection is not supported on Steam Deck, so I cannot play it. In reality, I could just probably download obtain the ROMs for the original games, but I want to play it, no hassle play,
Mm-hmm.
There was something I forgot to actually. No, I didn't. Never mind. But yeah, is it better than my Switch? They're about the same. They're about the same. It's good for what I want it for. I basically bought it for an emulation station and is 100% doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like the lack of like supported games that I own personally is like that's the thing. I can only bitch about the games that I own. Like a lot of people are like, this is great because all these games I like are compatible. And I'm like, I buy a lot of like old games and stuff on Steam, so a lot of them just aren't supported yet. So I guess it's kind of my fault, but that's my only real big complaint about it. Other than that, it runs everything fine. I played a good amount of Dark Souls on it too, and Elden Ring again.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It looks fine on there. It looks good. And it looks better docked up. I did not get the actual Steam dock because you can just buy any dock for like 30, 40. I think I got mine for like $50 or whatever, and they're selling theirs for like 100. And it does the same thing. And mine has actually more ports on it. So the only thing it does have is the Ethernet port, but I don't really give a shit about the Ethernet port. So, but it's good shit. I like it. I give it a solid 7.8 out of 10.
7.8 out of 10. Nice.
7 out of
I had a
10.
discussion with Headshot about it where he said he got his, and I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't understand why you would need it. And I think he mostly said it's like a convenient portable when you don't have a PC is what he used it for. And I'm like, that's fair.
Yeah, like if you're going places, it's definitely something you want to have around. Like bringing it to Vermont with me. Like yeah, I took up my whole backpack because I had to bring like my Steam Deck. I had to bring the keyboard and mouse I used for it too, a couple controllers and stuff like that, just in case I wanted to play 2-player games. But I mean, it's easier than lugging around
An Xbox.
my Xbox, yeah, or like my PS5. My PS5 won't even fit in my fucking backpack. So like overall portability and like ease of use, like definitely like benefit is a huge benefit because like I see a lot of people like posting like the group I'm in about the Steam Deck, like they posted on the plane and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, it's just like when I took my Switch when I went over to California. So I mean, it's pretty cool to have, but I mean, it's not a replacement for anything. Yeah, you can get a Switch emulator on there, but I would rather play Switch games on my Switch, if that makes sense. 'Cause
Yes.
that's what I have it for. So
Yes.
I'm not gonna like rip the ROMs from my Switch games and play it on my Steam Deck because that just takes up space at that point. So I just play them on my fucking Switch. Yeah.
So on a side note, I forgot to mention this. We're done with the Steam Deck, right?
Oh yeah. 7.8.
I forgot to mention this. I was chilling out, all right? It was in my bedroom. I was on my computer. I don't remember what I was doing. I might have been working. I might have been goofing off. Who fucking knows, right? And I hear a weird cracking sound. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And then it starts cracking more. And I'm like, the fuck is going on? What is this cracking sound? And then, out of nowhere, my TV stand, where I keep my smaller TV on, fucking folds. All of my games explode out everywhere.
What?
My medicine kit, it folds in on itself. Medicine goes everywhere. It just, like, explodes all over my floor. So I'm like, oh my god. I wasn't shocked that it happened. I didn't understand physically how that TV stand was holding itself together. It was broken in multiple places. So the fact that it broke did not surprise me. What did surprise me was, while I was cleaning up after it, right? I was, like, picking up the games. I was trying to, like, move the broken pieces of TV stand out of the way, move my TV out of there, try and pick up whatever hit the floor. I hear another crack. And I'm like, wait, what? And then another crack. And I'm like, something is breaking again. And I don't know how. And then another crack. And then I'll keep a lot of clothes in, like, a series of tubs.
Mm-hmm.
The tubs broke, and all my clothes spilled out on the already mess on the floor from the broken TV stand.
What the fuck is going on in your room right now, Zach?
I have no idea. It just went.
That is nonsense.
Whoosh. So everything broke. I managed to fix some of it. I moved the clothes to a different area. I didn't replace the TV stand, but I didn't really need it because I don't really use the TV as a TV anyway.
Yeah.
So I created, like, a makeshift setup where I can slide in and out, because for me the TV is mostly just to play, like, console games or if I stream, because I normally don't play console games anymore anyway. So unless if I do, I'll go to the bigger TV. So but yeah, so I'm like, I need a stand to put one, all of the medicine, because I also put that on my TV stand. It was just convenient to walk by it and pick it up whenever I needed it, right? But two, I needed a place to put all my games and all my DVDs and my Blu-rays. So I go to Walmart and I buy a stand, and I come back and the stand is completely fucking rusted.
What?
Yeah. Rusted all the way through.
Like, out of the box?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So I go back to Walmart. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get a metal stand. I was warned. I was like, hey, don't get a metal stand. You should get like a plastic stand. I'm like, fine, I'll get a plastic stand. I go to the plastic stand. I get a plastic stand. It breaks instantly. Like, absolutely, like, the process of assembling. I pick up a piece, I go to shove it in the hole, and I go, pow! And I'm like, okay. So I go back, and then I get another stand, and that one works, and that's where all my shit's on now, so. Or at least all the shit I don't have lent out. So that was my journey at redoing my bedroom. It looks like garbage. I want to be clear, but at least everything is stored.
Just the fact that everything just kept breaking.
It within hours, like 3 hours of each other.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah. And then replacing it, everything I got was also broken. Crazy. So that was the journey I had. I forgot to bring that up. All right, moving in.
No, moving on.
All right, moving on. Bravely Default 2. I started playing this 3 months ago, and I finished 2 months ago. So, we all know that I'm a big fan of Bravely Second. It's one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. Bravely Default 1 was a little shaky, a little repetitive, but it was still a decent game overall. So, but after Bravely Second 2 came out, the director apologized for it, despite the fact that it got pretty positive reception. So, you might be wondering, well, how did Bravely Default 2 come out? It's like worse in every way. Pretty much.
Really?
Yes. It's not a bad game. It's decent. It's good. It's playable. It's like worse in every way. From what I have declared, Bravely Second as like the greatest turn-based RPG combat I've ever experienced. Anywhere is down. This game uses a sort of like speed-based ATB system, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I liked the turn-based like mechanism of the first game where like everyone got a turn and then the villains got a turn. It was like almost SMT like in that regard. I thought it played very well with the job classes. Speaking of which, the job classes in this game are a lot more simplified. They're a lot more stripped down. There was some weird shit you could do in Bravely Second, which created this sort of like experimental, like it encouraged you to experiment and like fuck around with your builds to do some really interesting stuff. Like at one point in Bravely Second, my entire party was either possessed or kicked out. So what I did was I had a character that had the ability to possess other party members. So I possessed my Might Mage and then used my White Mage to clear the status ailments off of everyone in the party. Like, that's the kind of, like, crazy bullshit you could do in, like, Bravely Second. In this game, every job class is exactly what you think it is. You got your White Mage, your Black Mage, your Red Mage, you got your fucking, like, you got, like, your Warrior, you got your Dark Knight. It's just Final Fantasy classes. It's just, like, the old school Final, and I think that's really boring coming off of Bravely Second. I've seen complaints that the characters in this are a lot flatter compared to the first two games. I kind of disagree. I think people have rose-colored glasses for the first Bravely Default game, but the characters realistically were not all that fleshed out in that one. I think they are better fleshed out in this one. I would say they're probably the most fleshed out in this one of all of them, especially if you... Oh, I 100%ed this game, by the way. I don't think that's... I'm sure everyone is just like, yeah, of course!
Yeah, I just assumed you did.
There is speaking of which, there is a card game in this where you know how Square loves their fucking card games, right? There's a card game in this that I think perfectly emulates a trading card game, because it's basically a trading card game where you give up your strong like you give up one of your cards when you lose, and
yeah,
it starts off like you have to like take up space on a board, and then each piece has like special bonus effects, and then they take up a certain amount of space on the board. But what I find amusing, and why I think like whoever created this has played a trading card game, and that's kind of to this game's detriment, because the late game, like early game, like a D class is like, I put a piece, and then the enemy puts a piece, and then I put a piece that might be overlapping with its piece. Ooh, late game in this, like S ranked in this card game, it's all floodgates. It's really? You want to make it so your opponent cannot play the video game. My late game deck basically resulted in most late game enemies being able to play exactly 2 cards out of their 5-card hand. It just evolves into just the most degenerate strategies. And if you don't use these and you want to play a little spicy, you want to have a little bit of fun, if you're an S rank, fuck you, because the enemies are doing the same thing. Like, S rank enemies in this game also floodgate in the card game. Anyway, and then your reward for doing it is that one of your cards gets upgraded to being able to take up most of the board when you put it down, which is useless, because as I just said, 1, you get this once you've beaten everyone and collected all the cards, and 2, late game in this card game is just a bunch of floodgates anyway, so you would never play this. It is a useless card. Anyway, yeah, I liked the characters. Everyone's doing an accent in this. I think the names of this game are a lot less interesting compared to the Bravely Second and Bravely Default, where everyone's name was a pun. A lot less punny of the names, a lot more stripped down mechanics. The enemies are on the field in this, whereas previously you could set your random encounters. I wasn't a fan of that at first, but I think it works out okay. Levels do not matter in this game in the slightest. If you are level 99, a level 20 enemy will still beat your ass. Leveling is superfluous. It's more about like character builds, and equipment especially, which I don't hate, honestly. And I'm not saying there's no fun to be had to this game. Also, a major Bravely Default trope is sort of like a meta element, and without getting too much into it, this game doesn't really do that. The only time they do something with your save games where you have to like save your game in a specific spot and then something happens related to the story, but compared to like the SP from Bravely Second or like the like looping structure in Bravely Default, it's a lot more stripped down. This game also lacks a subtitle, which you wouldn't think is a big deal, except for it was a big deal in the previous two games. Because when you get to a certain point in those games, the subtitle would change. Whereas, like, Bravely Default, it was like, where the fairy flies, that changes too. I'm not going to tell you because it's a spoiler. But Bravely Second end layer changes to send player. So, yeah, this game doesn't really do anything about that. Just like a minor save thing. There's no real bad endings to it, as long as you just keep playing the game. I liked the cast. I liked the relationships. The story... It leaves a little to be desired. The primary antagonist of the game is pretty boring, but the final villain of the game has an interesting concept that I wouldn't necessarily say is delivered well, and I don't think the time loops are that well handled in this one. I think there's a lot left on the cutting room floor that just does not make sense at the end of the game. It's a good game. It's a decent RPG. It's a step back for the series, though, for sure. Oh, and this also has nothing to do with the other games, which is weird, because the previous Bravely games establish a multiverse, where there are, like, a whole bunch of different universes and, like, subplots, and this game doesn't have any of that, like, at all. Like, it doesn't even imply a multiverse in this one, so I don't know.
Fair enough.
Decent RPG, I guess. Say, I don't know, 7 out of 10, probably.
I did just buy it, too. It was on sale for half off.
Half off's a good price for it.
Yeah, I got it for like $30, yeah.
It's got the same chibi art style of the other games, but the characters are super expressive in this. As weird as it sounds, like, I'm shocked with the amount of expression they were able to get into the characters' faces in this game for the art style. Like, the way their mouths move, like, subtle, like, facial twitches, like, their eyes widening, closing, their eyes dilting back and forth, a lot of subtle head movements and hand movements. Very, very well animated for such a like, tiny, like, held back art style.
Yeah, I mean, I did start playing Bravely Default. I just need to continue.
How far are you?
Excuse me. Not very far.
Okay. Yeah. There's a part where a lot of people like start tapering off at the game. I think it's like chapter 6.
I'm gonna play all 3 of them. I just need to find the time.
Highly recommend second. 2 is good. 2 is good. 2 has nothing to do with anything, though. I'm ready to move on.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So I wanted to take it a little easy after that. So I went with Lobotomy Corporation. I don't think this is the order to play the game. I think I played the next game before I played this one, but fuck it. I wanted to take it easy after that one, and I played Lobotomy Corporation. This isn't the best image, but I couldn't find one with Angela in it, so this is what you get. This is a Korean management simulator. Are you familiar with SCP at all?
No.
Well, fuck. Well, basically in this game, you're an SCP site director that is converting death into electrical power.
Oh, okay.
So you, like, house a bunch of monsters, and they all have rules, and you have to figure out what the rules of the monsters are. And basically, your goal, you have to harvest a certain amount of energy. So you have to interact with the monsters, but the monsters will do all kinds of crazy bullshit to you. Some of it's rather innocuous. Like, I remember I had one group of people who they were siphoning energy, and then I noticed over time that everyone in the department was suddenly bald.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, that's interesting.
You guys are bald.
That came out of nowhere. And that's, that's pretty nice. But another thing that you might have to deal with is sometimes a train will go through your facility. Through it. And if someone's in the way, well, what do you think happens when a train goes through a person? This is one of the most stressful games I've ever played in my life. I cannot recommend it. I wish I could, but I can't. I think the art style's cute, but there's like so much going on. We're talking like one game will give you'll have to manage like by the end like 40 different monsters. There will be bosses all around. When you get to the end game, like serif suppressions, it gets out of control because there's one of them. At the end of the game, this is an actual level that I just want to vent about real quick.
No,
it makes the HUD hazy. So you can't see what you're clicking on in the HUD. That's okay. That's fine. It also makes the screen hazy, so you can't see what's happening on the screen. But if you're clever, you would think, well, I know my facility. I've memorized all of the locations and all of the inputs. I don't need to be able to see to manage my facility. John, that was a stupid thought you just had. Because, of course, when you're doing this level, everything's moved around.
Okay.
Yeah, so my strategy with that involved putting at first it was okay because it gets progressively worse as it goes. But like what ended up happening, my end game was all of my monsters broke out of their cells basically. I think at one point I had Gebera. I think I had, who's like one of the boss fights in the game. I think I had White Knight going full ham outside, and I think I had Apocalypse Bird, and I think they were just fighting each other. I put everyone in a fucking hallway and just let them duke it out. Like, that was my strategy. I just let the apocalypse happen outside of my room.
Well, did it work?
It did. I managed to beat the level, and here's the thing, because I couldn't see anything and I couldn't interact with anything, I don't know who won the fight. I don't know how I won. I don't know what happened. Just suddenly the level ended, and I'm like, perfect.
We did it.
Good job, we did it, everyone. Good job, everyone who survived that nightmare. This game is super fucking stressful. I cannot recommend it just because of how stressful it is. But also, it's a Korean game. When I first played the translation, when I first got this game, the translation was unbearable. It was like unreadable. You could not read it. It was terrible. They did improve the translation, and it's still pretty fucking bad. It uses like big thesaurus, like dictionary SAT words. I have a very good vocabulary. Here's the thing. Sometimes even I needed to look up some of these words, and here's the kicker. When I would look up the words, it didn't make the sentence make any more sense. It's really rambly. I understand the story. It's not particularly interesting. I think they made a twist, and I think it made the game actively less interesting. Every progressive twist in this game makes the story less interesting. So it really, like, lives on its, like, management simulator aspects, which are enjoyable if you like having heart attacks.
I do like having heart attacks.
Play Lobotomy Corporation.
Downloading it right now.
Anyway, yeah, that's Lobotomy Corporation. There's also a sequel, Library of Runia, which is a sort of like card builder game, where you play like magical girls and you fight the monsters from this game. I know the reason. I won't talk about it. Oh, I 100%ed this game.
Of course you did. I already knew.
Including don't touch this button. For people out, well, as much as you can do, don't touch this button, obviously. If you touch the button, the game crashes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, just straight crash to desktop.
This is supposed to?
Yeah, don't touch the button.
All right.
Don't touch the button. It's very clear about that.
I guess so.
It will try and hypnotize you to touch the button, though, so you do have to watch out about that.
I feel like I need to play it to see if I can touch the button or not.
You can touch it. It will crash your game. They give you the option. But anyway, yeah, I did talk about doing a SCP safety rating for this game on a stream. I'll probably do that later this month because it's horror themed, so it'll be fun. So look forward to that. But anyway, I'm good to move on. Honestly, I would like to give it a higher rating. It's like, I'd go 4. I'd go 4 out of 10. I'm sorry, Lobotomy Corporation. You're just too fucking stressful. Alright, moving on.
I don't need any more stress in my life right now.
Yeah, well, that's the exact opposite of what you just said, but then you don't need Lobotomy Corporation.
No.
Alright, face the fear.
I don't want to touch the button.
Build the fear. Future. Alright. And kick it into the next one. I actually think I played this game before Lobotomy Corporation, and I was like, this game was a little stressful. I need to de-stress, so let's try out Lobotomy Corporation. Fucking idiot. I was a goddamn idiot. This game was way less stressful than Lobotomy Corporation.
I was going to say, it's basically Mario 64.
So, this is a 3D platformer. Yeah, like Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, that kind of stuff. Now, y'all might not associate me with 3D platformers. And that's because I've played like one of them, I think.
I have played this game.
I have played a Spyro. Oh, have you? How much have you played of this game?
I got a couple worlds in, and then something else came up.
Nice. I 110%ed this game.
Of course you did.
Including Death Wish.
Oh
and the DLC.
Wait, do I have that? I think I have this game on Steam too. I think I own it on Xbox Steam.
Death Wish, to the person who made those Death Wish boss fights and Train Rush, but you can't jump, go fuck yourself.
I do not own this game on Steam.
You do not?
It's
a pretty good game. It's a cute little...
I like that.
Cute little 3D platformer. You play Hat Girl. It's got like the sort of collectathon elements. You got to collect stickers. You got to collect timepieces. Hat Girl is a sort of like true neutral sort of character where she just wants her timepieces and doesn't really care about anything around her. Whereas she goes up against Mustache Girl, who is a sort of, I would argue, chaotic good-esque character. Who wants to make the world better through time travel, but goes about it in a little bit of an aggressive manner. And at the end of the game, you have to team up with all of the evil villains of the game to take her down. You are not the good guy in this game.
Well, now one would think that you'd be the good guy.
You joined the Yakuza in one of the DLC? No, this game's actually really good, really fun. I feel like it's a little floaty for its jumping mechanics, but that might just be the style of gameplay.
No, it's a very floaty game.
Yeah, you get used to it. I feel like some of the hitboxes can be dicey. This was after I'd already played it, they increased the hitbox size on the sandbox. I didn't think that was a problem. I rarely had issues hitting sandboxes in this game. What they should have increased the hitbox size for was the fucking clotheslines, because I can never land on the clotheslines. Like the sandboxes like have like a decent hitbox because they're decently sized. I think this clothesline hitbox is just the size of the actual clothesline. You try and jump on one of those, whoop, every time. It's crazy. It's awful.
It's no Mario Odyssey or Mario Sunshine, but it gets the job done, I guess.
Do they have very long clothesline hitboxes?
No, those hitboxes are perfect.
Oh, okay. I would argue that technically the clothesline is probably an appropriately sized hitbox for clothesline. I just want it bigger because I can't land on it. It feels like trying to land on an actual clothesline.
I'll play it again and I'll come back to you with that and be
Yes.
like, no, those were fine.
No, they're not. They're too fucking small. Anyway, 110% of this game did all the death wishes, did all the DLC. Yakuza Metro is pretty good, although it's very easy to get lost in. I will say, this is weird, but like the Mafia Town, every area has its own sort of like gameplay style. Mafia Town is just like this big old. This is kind of like a Banjo-Kazooie kind of thing, right? Like a big old level, you get to run around, you get to collect everything, you get to do some side missions, and the first level of this game is by far my favorite level in the entire game. Every like other little spice up to the formula I'm not as big of a fan of, but I don't dislike any part of the game except for some of the death wishes. Fuck you, train rush no jump person. You have to do train rush without jumping. Who thought that was a good idea? But no, it's a good game. It's fun. It's cute. Hat Girl's adorable. Mustache Girl is right. You're totally the bad guy in this one. Just like a fun little 3D platformer. There you go.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'll give it a nice 7 out of 10.
All right.
Okay, moving on. All right. Everyone was probably waiting for me to talk about this one. It's Soul Hackers 2.
Yeah, what up?
Soul Hackers 2 is... You may have heard a lot of bad things about it. All right? I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a bad game. It is not a great game. It is an okay, decent game. It's like... barely above mediocre. Oh, by the way, very clear about this. I do have the DLC, and I 100% of this game! Woo! That's right. I've not only beat this game, I've beat this game twice.
You're a madman, Sack.
So anyway. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, I feel like this game didn't really sell well and kind of didn't meet a lot of critical reception. And just to talk about this, I brought this up a little bit on Resident Evil 6. I think what Atlus was trying to do was turn this into its like third pillar along with Persona and SMT. And not really a lot of companies I can think of have actually three pillars that they can stand on. There's like Nintendo, Square, Capcom, and out, I think. Also worth noting that Nintendo, Square, and Capcom have like more than three pillars. They've got like 4 or 5, but most other companies have like the maximum is like 2. So I think Atlus was really trying to like break that barrier, hit into 3 with this, and it didn't sell particularly well, and the reception was sort of like mid for it. I think I know a lot about like what happened with this is because Persona fans, like, there's 2 basic, like, Megaten fandoms, which is, like, Persona and SMT, and, like, most Persona fans, if you, like, break down the demographics, are not really Persona fans. They're, like, Persona 3 through 5 fans, and even among Persona 3 through 5 fans, there's like a large demographic of that aren't even Persona 3 through 5 fans. They're just like Persona 5 fans who only play Persona 5. And if Persona 6 came out, they probably wouldn't even super care. They just want Persona 5 too, basically.
Who doesn't?
And SMT fans don't exist. Zach's trying to get back at me for sucking off this game every chance I get. Is everything I ever wanted. SMT fans don't exist. There's only SMT3 fans. So, this game is not Personas 3 through 5 and not SMT3. So, no one gave a shit. Is, I think, kind of what happened with this. I want to be clear, it's a good game. It's not a great game. It's very, I think I talked about this on the Steam forums. I very rarely chime in, but someone asked if this is a good place to get into Megami Tensei, and I said I think this is the best place to get into Megami Tensei. First off, it's very stripped back, very simplified compared to the others, but it gives you tastes of the mechanics from SMT and Persona that if you wanted to branch out into the other, like, if you wanted to branch into either of those franchises, Soul Hackers 2 will give you the foundation to start moving in those directions. For example, like, this game has fusion, but unlike in, like, Persona or SMT, you don't have to worry about, like, moon phases, you don't have to worry about solar phases, you don't have to worry about the weathers. It's just got fusion, right? Striking weaknesses is important in this game, but it's a lot more simplified in this game as compared to, like, SMT, which has, like, the press turn system, or Persona, which is, like, moving into, which is, like, has all out attacks, or doesn't in some cases, or Persona 5, which is moving into the baton pass. I would say I've never been a fan of press turn because I think it exploits an inherent weakness in turn-based combat and action economy. So I've never liked press turn, but I was a very big fan of baton pass because it teaches you to, like, hit weaknesses, but how to chain people, because it gives you a power boost every time you chain into someone to basically give yourself a second turn. A very big baton pass fan, especially, like, post Royal. I think Royal hit baton pass perfectly. But I will say that in this game, basically, you hit enemy weaknesses. It's your turn, then enemy's turn. There's no speed system in this. And you, like, chain together your attacks, and it adds to a, like, total, which unleashes at the end of your turn a Sabbath attack, which does a shit ton of damage. Too much damage, but we'll talk about that in a second. And I would say, as a mechanic, Sabbath is easily the simplest of the two options between, like, press turn and baton. I would probably say mechanically it's probably the worst one, but again, if you view Soul Hackers 2 as, like, baby's first Mega 10, perfect. Absolutely great place to start. One thing about the Sabbath that first off, it's satisfying to land a nice high Sabbath when you see that, like, chain go up. Your chain is limited to the number of demons you have with you, but it also caps at 16, despite the fact that the max number of demons is 18. I found that out and was very disappointed. But when you start the game, like, one of the first things I remember doing is, like, I would hit, like, a Sabbath 1, a Sabbath 2 chain, and I was, like, struggling. I'm like, one of these days, I'm gonna hit a Sabbath 4. And there's, like, a progression to it, because, like, towards the end of the game, like, at the end game, I could every turn was, like, a guaranteed chain 10. Sometimes I do chain 12s, chains 14s. One time I did a casual max chain of 16, just on a group of enemies. I was just fucking around, and I chained 16. It gets really easy, but the higher your chain goes, the more damage it does. And this is actually a bit of an issue, because the primary amount of damage you're going to be doing is probably going to be coming from Sabbath, and it almost does too much damage, and I think the game almost leans too far into Sabbath attacks. Because here's the thing. Here's another point I have about this game. This game is, like, really fucking easy. Like, I would almost say it might be too easy. And this is coming from me. You know I play every game on easy, right? At one point, in order to stop enemies from dying in one hit, I had to put it to the maximum difficulty. Like, I was just, like, I shouldn't say one hit. That's incorrect. One turn. Because of the amount of damage Sabbath deals. Like, you just chain into it, you hit the weaknesses, you find the weaknesses, you exploit it, and then you, like, hit them for their whole fucking health bar. This game is, like, piss baby easy. I could see some people saying too easy, but I also think, again, that that's what makes it a great first Mega 10 game, because it lets you focus more on the mechanics and less on, like, the more punishing difficulty of some of the other entries. The dungeons are twisty and turny, and there's, like, some teleport pads, and there's some locked doors, but they don't get to the, like, absolute bullshit levels that were achieved in, like, Persona 2, or to a lesser extent, like, Strange Journey. So you get your, like, dungeon crawling, but it doesn't ever get too bad of the dungeon crawling. This game actually has Beast Eye, which I was shocked about, because this doesn't seem like a game that would support Beast Eye. But because of Sabbath attacks, like, mitigating some of the issues with it, it never becomes a problem like it could in, like, a Digital Devil Saga or something. If anything, it feels like it's just used to, like, compensate for the fact that you're kind of probably just beating the shit out of everyone. And I'm okay with that. There's, like, some bosses with some fancy mechanics. I will say that one of the DLC bosses, Arda, which is, like, a level 99 super boss, is, like, probably mechanically my favorite Mega 10 boss of all time. Just absolutely enjoyed the shit out of that fight. You have to, like, wait for its weaknesses to appear, and it, like, heals itself with, like, for, like, thousands of hit points every round if you don't, like, take out the mobs in the combat. It's very nice. The DLC boss is great. The DLC itself is a little bit of a mixed bag. It doesn't have much to do with the story, but it kind of helps you understand the main character, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, what I will say, and there is an update to this game that they're, like, adding in, like, a dash button or something. The update, from what I've seen, are welcome changes to this game. So the game is probably going to be better with the new update, even, like, mechanically. Some people have had some issues with, like, some options. If the frame rate gets too high, which it starts on capped on PC, it gets, like, floaty, like, very, like, you'll, like, stop hitting, and then Ringo will, like, run for, like, 30 additional seconds. Like, really bad. But if you fuck around with your options, you can basically turn off everything that sucks about it. Which you could make the argument, it's like, okay, the default options in this game suck, and they do, but you can turn them off, which is a lot better than other games where the default options suck, which we'll talk about with the next two games. So yeah, they give you the options. Another issue is, like, people talk about, like, loading times in PC, but if you turn off your tooltips, you will not have loading times in this game. It's very clean, very consistent frame rate as long as you cap it. It runs pretty great aside from that. I recommend capping at 60. It'll still, the game's clearly designed to run at 30. Ringo will still, like, move a little extra, but it like, still have a little too much momentum. But it's not an FPS game. You don't need to go past 60. And at 60, it's pretty manageable. Excellent character designs. The only complaints I have for the character designs in this game are, I would love some sort of, like, different colored belt, because I know Arrow has one for, like, Arrow and Ringo, because the, like, white clothing and, like, for Ringo and the, like, red clothing for Arrow kind of blends their torsos too much together. It kind of makes them look like they're in, like, jumpsuits. So I'd have liked a little bit of that, but, like, otherwise, very good character design overall. Love the game's aesthetic. It looks great. Great use of color palette on this game. The characters in this game and the story in this game are kind of where my issues start arising. I do like the main cast. It took me a long time to get on board with Melody. I did not like her at first. I came around towards the end. I did end up pretty much liking all of the characters, but I will say, like, story and themes are kind of where I think this game has the biggest issues. In this game, you're playing a AI called Ringo, who's been sent by the Sea of Information, which is distinct from the Sea of Souls, to basically help because the world is about to end, and you have to resurrect people by hacking their souls. Thus the name Soul Hackers. This justifies its title way more than the original Soul Hackers, by the way. To, like, resurrect the dead and, like, save the world. The game pretends that it's mature and deep, and it isn't. It tries to, like, pretend it's got sort of, like, a gray morality, right? Because it's about, like, Yatagarasu, and it's about the Phantom Society. Which one's right? Are neither of them right? Ooh, except for, like, it fails in that regard because Yatagarasu is trying to save the world, and fucking Phantom Society is trying to destroy the world. That's not gray. It's one of those is objectively the better side, though. And, like, the game kind of knows it, because at the end of the game, you still save the world. But it tries to make it seem like it's not all black and white. There's some gray to it. No, it isn't. This is the most fucking black and white game, I think, in any of the Megaten games. One side is objectively wrong. And especially when you, like, get into, like, the dialogue for, like, Milady, where she describes, like, all of the Phantom Society as either, like, kids or posers, it really gives you this, like, this idea that, like, one of the sides is just basically a group of school shooters. Like, that's their thing, right? And they try and make a twist at the end where it's like, oh, but if they say they'll destroy the world, but they'll make a new world. Except for, she also talks about, at one point, they tried to just summon a demon to just kill everyone in the city. How's that making a new world, Milady? No, it's like the Phantom Society is fucking evil and Yatagrasu are the good guys. There's no room for interpretation. And although Saizo is my man, and I love Saizo, and I love his, like, character arc with his girlfriend Ash in this game, he's like, I work for both sides. So you're working for the side that's trying to destroy the world. This is what's happening. There's no... Even, like, the people who work for both sides are still fucking dickheads. The only side you could side with is Yatagrasu in this game, and not be trying to destroy the world. Like, fucking, like, every other Megaten game has, theoretically, a better argument for which side is right or which side isn't than this one. This is the most black and white of the fucking games I've ever seen. It also will just... It's kind of pretty fucking predictable. Several plot twists I managed to predict by seeing the character on screen for the first time, including the final boss. It was very obvious. And the parts that aren't obvious immediately upon viewing them the first time are the result of the game pulling shit directly out of its asshole. I fucking hate the tower of this game because there's like 5 plot twists in a row with absolutely zero setup. Like, the whole game is, like, about trying to find these MacGuffins, and we're told, like, you die. In order to take the MacGuffin, you die. And then, in the tower, they reveal that if you just focus on your arm really hard and then cut your arm off, the MacGuffin will stay in your arm. This is not established. It's fucking stupid. The story of this game gets really goddamn dumb. It has some it definitely has some consistency issues. I think the characters are the selling point of this game. I like the characters. I like their arcs. I like how they grow together as a group. They have this, like, apprehension about calling themselves friends or partners, even though they're fucking friends and partners at the end of the game. They're all very tsundere in that aspect. But yeah, I like the character direction. I like the way the characters go together. The main plot is a fucking mess, and it sucks. It actually sucks. But the game itself is fun to play, and it is enjoyable. I did like it, and I did like the, like, sub-stories they have going on in the side quests, which was something that, like, Persona 5 did very well. So they've learned their lessons from the other games. I think it came together very well, but again, I want to reiterate, this game is good, not great. I would recommend buying it if you're an RPG fan, but I would say get it at a discount. Any questions?
No, sounds like that was a solid general consensus from a lot of people. I played this game.
I've only heard people shit on this. I'm surprised that other people agreed with me that it's good, not great. Maid will not stop sucking this game's dick, but but now that I'm on a podcast, I can formally incredibly disagree with it.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just gotta suck the dick, you know.
7 out of 10, honestly. It's a good game. It really is. Don't let the hate get you down. It is a good game.
I was considering I think I have it in Steam on my wish list for when it comes down.
No, that's good.
I'll probably pick it up for like $30. Like $60 games, when they get half off, that's when I generally pick them up.
Mm-hmm. No, get this game a little discount. The DLC has the storyline of, like, Nana, which I think works a little bit with, like, Ringo as a character because she's not human, and they do a little playing around with that, but it has nothing to do with anything. Other than, like, the Arda boss fight, it's pretty skippable. So... Like I don't think you miss anything by not doing it. Is what I will say. I enjoyed it, but I think getting the game at full price isn't necessarily a bad thing. But that DLC, that's a half pricer right there. That is do not pay full price for that DLC. Because I think that DLC is like $10. That DLC is like $5. I'll tell you that now. Excuse me.
Maybe I'll wait for some sort of Soul Hackers Definitive Edition.
Excuse me. I think this is the Definitive Edition. I'd be shocked if they expand any more past this. Unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, because I do wish this game did a lot better in sales. I see Soul Hackers 3 is probably not very likely. Because I don't even think the reception for this game was very good in Japan. But yeah, okay, I'm good to move on.
All right, let's move on.
All right. Now we're getting into a hot take. Dying Light. Have you played this game? I think you have, right?
I have played this game, and before you say your hot take, I also don't think it's a good game.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, I also don't think this game is very good. So continue your thought.
Did I 100% this game? I might have. Hold on. I'm checking. I think I did. Yeah, I did. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sorry.
No, I did not. But I did do all of the side quests in this game, which is like 100%ing the game, right?
Yeah, basically.
So, okay. All right. A lot of people will say that the story of Dying Light is good, but the gameplay is unbelievable. And I think the story of Dying Light is mediocre, and the gameplay is fucking bad.
It's really bad.
I did not like playing this game. I did not like playing this game physically. Let's talk about the story. You're a special agent set in to help a bunch of refugees, and you have to get a file because, like, the UN wants to use zombies as a bioweapon or some shit like that. And you have to get the file back from just the most head up his, like, asshole guy I've ever seen. Just really undeserved. His name is like Reyes or some shit, and the whole game culminates in a fight on a skyscraper that doesn't make any sense because, like, logically, why are you fist fighting this guy? Just, like, fucking shoot him or something.
He could have shot him at the beginning of the game, and then it would have just been over.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Remember when you cut his hand off? Just stab him.
Yeah.
Oh, like there's like
this game sucks.
Reyes is alive for most of the game due to just sheer plot armor, and it is.
Yep.
Oh,
stupid.
Oh, yeah,
people
and then
suck this game's dick too.
Huh?
Like, I got into an argument when Dying Light 2 came out. Like, this is whenever it came out, like 2 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
But like the game came out, and like the kid I was working with was like, "Yeah, Dying Light's one of the best games I've ever played." I'm like, "No, that game
play
fucking
more games.
sucks, dude." Like, play more games, dude. This shit sucks, bro. Dude, I played it for like, I think it was just under the 2 hours for like the Steam like refund. And like I was playing it and I was like, man, I'm not having a fun time. I think I paid like $20 or something like that for it.
Most people who defend this game say it comes online at the 10-hour mark. I say it gets less terrible at the 10-hour mark, but I wouldn't say it comes online at it. The grappling hook does really help with the game, I will say that. Like, with the movability, once you get the grappling hook, it does help with things, but if you have to wait 5 hours for the game to get good, and there's no story to keep you moving, I'm not sure how.
So speaking of grappling hooks, there's a good game called Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker.
Sure.
And you get the grappling hook in about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing about it is, when you get it, use it for the rest of the game. And it's amazing. It's great. It's good. You get it like very soon. You don't need it until you get it, and then after that you'll need it. In Dying Light, that grappling hook would have been way more beneficial if you got it probably within an hour. But after 5 hours, you sit there wondering, do I really need to use this? Is it really that much beneficial now? Because I'm already used to just climbing over shit and parkouring my way through this stupid ass city.
The answer is actually yes.
No.
The answer is yes, actually. When you get the grappling hook, it is a great fucking benefit. To the point where whenever the game decides to take the grappling hook from you, it drops in quality dramatically.
See, here's another thing. A good game that takes away a grappling hook from you within the first 20 minutes. Metroid Prime.
Uh-huh.
Does it suck after you lose it? No, because you don't need it.
Yeah.
Not until you get it back.
You don't need the grappling hook in this game.
It just makes it, yeah.
It just makes it better. Yeah.
Fuck Dying Light.
I mapped the grappling hook to a mouse button, and it let me fly through the city. Oh, but speaking of the grappling hook, it has a cooldown. You can use it like 5 times in a row, and then it makes you wait. And I'm like, or you could just make it infinite. Why is there a cooldown for my fucking grappling hook? That never stopped driving me nuts about this game.
Because the game's not good, and that's why it's like.
Anyway, yeah, the game talks about, like, Jade, the Scorpion, the strongest woman in the world. And, like, at one point she dies. Fucking spoilers for who gives a shit. And I'm like, I'm sorry, am I supposed to care about Jade? She's had, like, 3 scenes in the entire game.
Not so strong now, bitch.
Well, no, that's the crazy thing about, like, Jade is, like, whenever the characters talk, it's a really bad case of, like, tell, don't show. Because, like, they're always like, oh, she's so, like, strong-willed and, like, a strong person, and, oh, she's like, a great fighter, and, oh, Jade's, like, the best, and, like, every time you see her, she's fucking whining about some bullshit.
My pussy hurts.
Jade is, like, the least fucking strong female in this entire game. I was a big Troy fan. Just gonna put it out there. Even with the burn on her face, Troy is, like, distractingly attractive. Just gonna put it out there. But but yeah, no, I don't like Jade. I didn't care when she died. The story in this game is fucking terrible. The gameplay is, like, if you don't have the grappling hook, like, I find, like, a lot of the jumping to be very sluggish. You have to, like, crawl your way up, and then...
Dude, the parkour feels like shit in this game.
It really doesn't feel great. With the grappling hook, it feels a lot better. But the grappling hook is an ability that you have to level up to unlock, though, is part of it, so... So you have to do a bunch of running and jumping by the time you get the grappling hook. And the enemies in this game are, when I first started playing the game, killing the enemies, like, because they swarm you, is like, this isn't that bad. But, like, as you go through the games, they start throwing more and more enemies, and they'll, like, send you into an area where you have to, like, fight a bunch of enemies, and they take so many hits that your weapons just end up breaking and exploding constantly in them. Like, I can't tell you the number of times I've had to, like, run up to a lever and, like, start pulling it, and then, like, a zombie will hit me, and then I'll have to kill all the zombies in the room because I get knocked out of the animation if I try to move the lever while being attacked. So then I kill all the zombies in the room, I start moving the lever again, and I get hit, because this is the #1 issue with Dying Light, and I don't think you played this game long enough to fully realize it. Enemies spawn on top of you. And it is
good thing I didn't get to that part.
Worst part of the game. They do it the entire game, and I felt like the game was fucking gaslighting me at first, because I would kill a bunch of enemies, and I would, like, start looking around, and then a zombie would hit me from behind, and I'm like, where the fuck did you come from? Everyone was dead. The street was clear. The game definitely spawns in enemies, but, like, as you start going through the game, you'll notice, like, sometimes zombies will, like, burst out from the sewers, or I saw a zombie crawl out from underneath the car, like a fucking Silent Hill 2 enemy at one point, or, like, burst out from, like, the gutters of a building, and I'm like, I guess they're coming from the sewers, so maybe they're finite, but I got a definitive proof that no, the enemies are... The idea, I think, is that the enemies spawn out of sight. That's why I never managed to catch one popping in. But they definitely will spawn out of sight, and if a zombie is alerted, every zombie is alerted. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if you're, like, using, like, silenced weapons or melee weapons, they are just, like, magnetically attracted to aggro. And there's no in-game explanation for why they're like this. But I was in a situation where I had to look around a bridge. There is nothing behind me, right? It's fucking water. I landed down on the bridge, and I had to slowly make my way through the zombie horde. And then I managed to miss one of the items, so I whacked back, and there were zombies behind me from the area I already cleared. And that's when I was like, okay, they're spawning. They have to be spawning, because there is no way they would be behind me. Everything behind me was dead. And then I got confirmation at the end of the game, where I'm at the final level of the game, and I look up, and I see zombies spawning on top of an invisible wall on the roof, just flooding in endlessly. And I'm like, oh, not only are these infinite, but they're clearly just popping the fuck in. The zombie spawning like, the respawn timer is too short. And I don't think I'm an expert on how long your respawn timer for an enemy should be in a video game, but I'm going to tell you this. If I'm noticing your respawn timer, it's too short.
Too short, yep.
That's the number one issue. It was like the aggro range and the respawn timer. There are some DLCs, they're just like mini games. I didn't bother with them. Then there's like an expansion DLC where you get out of the city and you have to like build a buggy and you have to help out like a cult who like worships zombies. Zombie cult, basically. And I'm gonna blow your fucking mind open. The DLC is pretty good.
Is it?
It is, but if you've gotten to the DLC, there's a very good chance that you've already played the entire game because it's a sequel to the game. So, you've already suffered through most of the game before you get to the good part. But yeah, like, the story's a lot more interesting. You have to do a lot of side quests. It's kind of grindy because you have to do a lot of side quests to get up, like, the reputation with people, and then the quests unlock, and then you find out the whole, like, history of, like, the zombie cult, and there's, like, this little mystery aspect. It's kind of entertaining. It's a lot more open-aired in this area, so you get to, like, run around more. It's just generally more fun to be in a more open area, which you think would be the opposite, because people always talk about the parkour. But again, the parkour in this game fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, it also has, like, I think this is the one with mouth smoothing? Mouth smoothing? No. Oh, yeah. You know what the issue is? Is I could not get my mouse sensitivity right. Like, you'd, like, twitch your mouse and you're, like, fucking 360 all around. But then, like, you try and, like, move it too but if it moves too slow, you're useless. It feels bad to physically move in this game.
For a game that says, "Oh, we have some of the best movement ever," sure does suck to move in this game.
It feels bad to look around, even. I was not a Dying Light fan. I know Dying Light 2 came out. People say it's worse than Dying Light 1. I won't be trying it then.
I will not be playing that game.
But yeah, I did all of the quests in this game, so there you go. Dying Light, it's, oh, and weapon durability, I'm not a fan of weapon durability. It's too low, you break your weapons constantly, and then there's a limit, you get a good weapon, there's a limit to the number of times you can repair your weapon. So even if you get, like, a really good weapon, sucks to be you. Sucks to sucks, loser.
Eat a dick, bitch.
Yeah, no, okay, I'm not a fan of this. Alright, moving on?
Moving on.
Alright. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I decided to play this after Dying Light because, honestly, I wanted something vaguely like Dying Light, but also because I had just watched the Cyberpunk anime, and I wanted something cyberpunk.
Why is that not on here, if you watched it?
I don't talk about anime on the podcast, ever. Have you not noticed that? I have, like, a dedicated channel for that. Oh, God.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. No, the anime portion of the pin is just for whenever you talk about anime. Unless you watched it. I mean, we can talk about it if you've seen it.
I have not seen it yet. It's eventually.
Okay, well, if you see it, we'll talk about it. But yeah, no, I don't talk about anime on this podcast. Anyway, this is a sequel to Human Revolution and, to a lesser extent, like the 90s Deus Ex games. You take the place of Adam Jensen after the incident at the end of Human Revolution, and you're working for a special task force of Interpol, trying to unravel a mystery trying to unravel a mystery. There's a lot of plot threads in this game because you're also working with like a hacker group called the Janus Collective. And there's like a whole lot of different like plot threads about like what's the Illuminati up to, what's going on with like a VersaLife break-in that hasn't happened yet, whose side is your boss on, what's going on with these terrorists, who are these weird gold mask people, and it like splits your character and the game storyline into like a whole bunch of like different like directions that actually do come back in together, I would say in a pretty satisfying way. There's still some questions left up at the end of the game, and I'm okay with that. I've seen comments that say in order to connect this better to the like 90s Deus Ex games, you'd probably only need like one more game to do it. And then you could like start with like Human Revolution and then play all the way to like Invisible War. But yeah, I've seen a lot of like talking bad about the story. I like the story in this game. I love how it all goes into the different directions and then it all comes together. Oh yeah, there's like this subplot with like these gangs that seem like unrelated at the beginning but come into relation at the ending. I don't like that you can't do every quest in this game in one playthrough. I did all the quests in this game, by the way. I have played this game at least twice, I believe.
Oh god.
Surprising no one. One for the record, once you like play the game the first time, and if you're gonna play it immediately afterward, you can kind of just skip through the dialogue. Like I wouldn't do that if I was playing it like a year or two down the line, but if you're playing one right after the other, just skip the dialogue is the thing I generally do. That's how I get through 2 playthroughs so quickly.
I just do that in most games because fuck the story.
Which is why you don't like games as much as me.
I love games.
Not as much. I don't know what the point I was trying to make with that. My words like slipped and I was trying to say something else and that's where I ended up with. So you don't like games. You'll never know what I was trying to say now because I'm doubling down.
So my rule is like if I've already played the game, obviously I'm going to skip the cutscenes. Unless it's a game that like I really like, then I'll watch cutscenes over again. But like if I start playing the game, but I really like the gameplay, but I'm still like kind of like not into the story, I'll just skip the fucking cutscenes.
If you're not into the story, I get it as much. But like there's some story heavy games where it's like you're not gonna fucking watch the story for like a Persona or something. That's crazy.
Oh no, I didn't skip a single thing in Persona 5. Yeah. Because I knew I'd be
right,
lost.
But if we're talking like a replay, because you always talk about skipping on a replay.
Well, if I choose, if the Persona's like one of those things, like if I can do things differently the second time, so I'll definitely like some of the stuff I might skip. Like some of the scenes, I'm like, okay, I've seen this, I know what it is. It was a good scene, but like, you know, I mean, maybe another one.
See, in that case, you're experiencing the gameplay, but like the gameplay is not really the drive for like story heavy games. So you're really like you're creating a negative impact on the narrative itself, which like which will usually depreciate the enjoyment of the game, is what I'm saying. That's why I'm very anti cutscene skipping, in some cases. Unless I've just played the game and I already know everything that just happened because I just did it like 5 minutes ago.
See, my biggest one of my biggest pet peeves, especially with like older games, is that you cannot skip a lot of the cutscenes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We'll get to that one.
There's a good segue. But yeah, that's kind of like the problem with like I love older games, but like some of the games that I do love that I played a million times, like I've seen these cutscenes so many times. Like, yeah, we get a battle for Bikini Bottom, like you're great, but I don't want to watch this cutscene again.
What a weird fucking pull. But yeah, if you're in the game for like gameplay, it's fully understandable. Like even I skip the Dark Souls cutscenes because I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, those ones are hard skip after first playthrough.
Fuck off! I don't want to see a damn lizard crawl out of a sewer.
Yeah, I watched that one because I like see like that's like one of the ones I will watch because I just think it's so ridiculous. I love it. But like there's ones that I'll skip. Like I know and like Ornstein Smo, like I've seen you guys a million times. I don't need to see that again. You've whooped my ass enough, okay?
Anyway, yeah. So anyway, the story in this game is great. Back on track though. Story in this game is great, and we got to get through the stream at some point. Sorry, that was a little more abrasive of a cutoff than I expected, but the gameplay in this is pretty good, honestly. This game has like some kind of mouth smoothing on, and there's no way to turn it off. This is like the opposite of Soul Hackers, where the default options suck, and there's no way to turn them off. In Soul Hackers, the default options suck, and then you can turn them off. And the default options kind of suck, and there's not a lot you can do about it. So it's more like you learn to get used to the like shitty gameplay aspects in this game. Other than that, it plays like Human Revolution. If you've ever played Human Revolution, it's a lot like that. They have like this weird like Praxis experimental AUG system where you have to like balance your energy production, or you just get an item to remove that mechanic entirely, which I did. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the game. I don't understand fully why it gets so much hate. People are always like, oh, it's so much worse than Human Revolution. And I'm just like, I mean, honestly, it's pretty good, honestly. I don't get it. In some aspects, it's probably worse than Human Revolution. I do not like the hacking mini-game changes in this. I fucking hate them. I hate hacking in this game. I'll admit, I cheated for multi-tools because I didn't want to hack anymore. I was done. I was like, I'm done with hacking. I hate it.
After Soul Hacker, you were done.
Yeah. No, I played this after Soul Hackers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and this game also has like 3 bits of story DLC. I will say that. The DLC, the stories told in them aren't the most interesting, except for one of them. But one of them you have to like break into a vault. That one's kind of entertaining, but there's like a weird like hacking portion at the end of the game that's like similar to the Breach gameplay, like mini game that's also in this game that I did not play any of, which is why I did not 100% this game.
You didn't 100% the game?
No.
You okay?
I'm fine. I didn't want to play the Breach. I didn't want to play. There's like the Breach is like has similar gameplay basically to like the main title, but it's like this whole like separate story about you like breaking into like Palisade bank files, and it's basically just a way for them to sell you loot boxes and shit. Aww. So I didn't bother. You can just look up the files online if you cared, which I didn't even bother to do that because I didn't give a fuck. But yeah, there's like a Breach segment in one of the DLCs that I'm not super fond of when you're like breaking in, but you get to meet your main man, Pritchard. Jensen's way more of an ass to Pritchard in this game than I ever was in the original Human Revolution, which I was disappointed with. But it was good to see Pritchard again. Then there's one sign where you have to sneak into a building, into Talos, and you have to investigate a murder while not being detected. That one's pretty cool. I loved the sneaking mechanics of that one. It was a nice challenging sneak. If you like a nice challenging sneak, that's a good one. And then the last one is, you're going to prison and you don't have any powers. Fuck you! It's a bit of like a prequel, and you have to basically like you have to get in touch with another Interpol agent, and basically kind of like break out of prison. And it's actually pretty fun, good story, and the ending cutscene really is like Jensen talking to his therapist, and there's like a bit of like a smirk and a wink from both of them, because reasons. You know what I'm saying? If you played the game, you know. Excuse me. Anyway, this game's great. It's like an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
I would put it at about the same level as Human Revolution. Weird part of Human Revolution is on PC there you have the Director's Cut edition, which has a storyline DLC called like The Missing Link, and it inserts it in the middle of the actual like a game story where it was supposed to be when you actually play it. And Missing Link is fucking terrible. So the PC version is actually worse because it has the DLC.
Interesting.
And so I feel like Mankind Divided might even have a leg up over Human Revolution Director's Cut because you don't have to do the Missing Link DLC. But no, it's great. It's great. It's a great game. I wish there was a sequel. finish off the Jensen trilogy. Idolus. I think Square sold them, so I have no idea who owns them. But get on it, somebody.
Get on it, motherfuckers.
Yeah, all right. That's Mankind Divided. You haven't played this, correct?
No, I do have it. I do own them though.
Nice. I would highly recommend Human Revolution followed by Mankind Divided. I hear Mankind Divided used to have like a save bug, which is probably where I think a lot of the negative reception came from. All right, moving on. Now, I'm pretty sure you have played Final Fantasy X.
I have played, I believe, 85% of it.
Nice. I have, of course, 100%ed this game.
Yeah. You're a madman.
You want to know?
You're a madman.
The absolute craziest. Oh, I forgot to mention I did Mankind Divided twice because I had to do both story routes. But anyway, Final Fantasy X. This is gonna sound crazy. This took me the least amount of time to 100%.
Yeah, I didn't. It honestly, when I was like looking at the completion guide for that, I'm like, that doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah. I would say the roughest part about this is Blitzball.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do it. I am not good at Blitzball.
So, hey, Headshot. So, here's the thing. Yeah, Headshot's here. So is Pache.
Hi, Pache.
Pache slid in. I was pretending not to see, because he was sneaking. Yeah, Final Fantasy X. I 100%ed this game. Blitzball was the roughest part of 100%ing this game, as one might assume. Blitzball sucks when you have to go up against the Luca goers in, like, the beginning of the game. And I am almost disappointed in myself to say that after, like, 40-plus games of Blitzball, I no longer dislike Blitzball. I don't like Blitzball, but I don't dislike Blitzball anymore. Anyway, yeah, Made thinks I didn't like this game. What did you think about this game?
I really liked it. It's one of the Final Fantasy games I've played the most of.
Mm-hmm.
Because I this game, I played it when it first came out, but I wasn't really into like jerps back then. Mm-hmm. So I kind of I was playing at a friend's house, and I didn't really like enjoy it as much as I should have. But like playing it again, it was a lot of fun. It's a good game. The story's fun too. Oh, it's not boring. So like it's fun. The voice acting is fucking horrendous.
Yes.
So
yes, so hard to agree. It's very bad. I've seen people like try and defend it, where especially like the laugh scene, which is usually cited for like having terrible voice acting, and they're like, it's supposed to be terrible voice acting in that scene, and it's like, it is, but not to that degree, and also it's bad in every scene.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, the voice acting is fucking terrible. Yeah, so I played this game as a kid. I didn't get all the way through. I got to the third Cloister of Trials, and I couldn't solve the puzzle because I was stupid.
The puzzle, well, I had to look it up, so I
was like,
what are you gonna do?
I was a dumb little kid, and I couldn't solve the third Cloister of Trials puzzle. So I wasn't able to beat the game, but I remember thinking, this is an okay game. So I was definitely more of a Final Fantasy IX fan back then than I was a Final Fantasy X fan. But yeah, having replayed it, this game is fucking great.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good. Honestly, though, yeah. Oh, but as for the Cloister of Trials, I got to that part of the game, Cloister of Trials. I refused to look it up. I was like, no, I'm going to solve this goddamn puzzle. And
I didn't.
In my defense, to young kid Asak who wasn't able to solve this puzzle, the solution was, you have to put both of the power spheres onto a like fucking column, and you push it into the lightning off of a cliff.
Yeah, right?
Do you know how I solved that puzzle? I solved that puzzle
by accident.
I solved the puzzle by being like, I cannot think of anything else to do here. It was the last thing I thought I could have possibly thought to try. I'm like, I do not know what else to possibly do. I'm just gonna push this off of the cliff with the energy spheres in it and see what happens.
The funny thing about that statement is like when I did look it up, I just felt I was so mad. It was like that's what you had to do. Like I got genuinely mad at that. I was like, this
very stupid. Yeah. Like I didn't even feel bad about it. I was like, you know what? All right. That's fine. That's fine. I couldn't figure that out as a kid. That's fucking dumb.
Oh no, it's definitely
Other problem with this game, the sphere grid system is awful.
I did not.
It is fucking putrescence. I hate it. The number one issue with it, one, it's way too fucking complicated and has no business being this complicated. If you do not overcomplicate your leveling system, video games. But like people say it's like, oh, but it lets you build any of the characters however you want, which sounds great on paper, but there's no reason for this complicated spread out system for that. You could just make it so you could assign points and select abilities. Why not do that, game? But no, the number one issue is it takes way too fucking long to navigate the menus. Like, it will take you at least, just based on the amount of time it takes for the animations and movement of the sphere grid, it will take you, if you want 100% this game, it will take you 8 hours of just being inside the sphere grid menu. Yep. I know, I timed it. 8 hours of leveling, and not the process of fighting enemies and grinding. No, that's 8 hours of moving your stats. It's fucking terrible. It's like an hour per character. It is like the fucking worst. The sphere grid system is a nightmare. Anyway.
You're not wrong.
Oh yeah, I went around a rant about this in Final Fantasy, on Resident Evil 6. Tetsuya Nomura is a fucking shitty character designer. The characters in this game look fucking awful. They really do. If you think they don't, I want you to pull up, Titus's design. Stare at it for 2 minutes. Don't just stare at it for, 5 seconds. Look at that fucking design. It is awful, and it's like every character in this game. Yuna's design is okay. And I like Lulu's design, even though it doesn't make any sense, because everyone else is wearing thin, light clothing because they live in the fucking tropics, and Lulu is wearing, this fucking, goth mommy dress filled with belts. But love it. I like the design. It fucking does not fit the weather. But yeah, everyone else's design in this game is fucking terrible. I also played the HD remaster, and they only really remastered the characters? The main party members, which is weird, because there's a lot of major characters in this game, and Seymour, who are not remastered. Donna's a major character, and she looks like a fucking PS2 character. The entire game. And it's very distracting, because you'll see, this, crisp Yuna, and she'll be like, I'm a summoner, and then Donna will come up going, not a very good one.
Hey guys, I didn't load in properly. I'm sorry.
That's like everyone in this game. Story-wise, Seymour sucks. He's a bad villain. Everything Seymour has to do with this game, I think, kind of makes the game worse. He's not an interesting character. He's like, I want to marry Yuna. Oh, I'm evil. Bop, bop, bop. I'm gonna kill everyone to make the world peaceful. But then, at the end of the game, he tries to become immortal despite him worshipping the concept of death. He undermines himself at the end of the game. Seymour's fucking terrible. And he you kill him. You straight up kill him in your first fight, and then he just turns into a zombie, and then you have to kill him 3 more times. And at the end of the game, he's in sin for no reason. Why is he in sin? You dropped him off a cliff. What the fuck is happening? The game has multiple antagonists, and Seymour is the only one that's bad, because I think the idea of the Church of Yevon lying to people, I think I think what they deal with, like with Unaleska, I think that's interesting. I like the idea of sin as like this unstoppable force, and like Yevon, like the Yevon reveal. I think it's all very good. It's just Seymour is a problem. He is awful. Seymour is awful. But other than Seymour, I like all the characters. I like the card cast, the main party. Waka's a fucking racist. And Kimari is only in the game to justify how Yuna got to Besaid.
Yeah.
So, it's absolutely nothing in this game. But yeah, I like the story. I like the like depressing undertones, where it's like it's very obvious to me very early into this game that it's like, oh, Yuna's gonna die at the end of this like summoning journey. Like that's clearly what everyone is leading into, and Titus is so fucking stupid that he just doesn't know. And then it's like dropped his rail. He's like, you fuck, and he's like beating the shit out of Valefor with his fist, but it's not doing anything because it's fucking Valefor. I think it's very well handled. There's a lot of good scenes in this game, a lot of good characters, and I think aside from like Seymour, I think the story is very interesting. I love the dynamic Titus has with his father. I love that he doesn't forgive his father, because Jecht is a piece of shit. Jecht is a piece of shit, and I love that, like, in his own way, Jecht loves Titus, but at the end of the game, I love that, like, it's not like, at the end of the game, Titus doesn't forgive him. He literally is like, I've waited, like, my whole life. I fucking hate you. I love that. This game's great. This game's fucking great. Final Fantasy X. Great game.
I liked it. I still need to finish it, but I definitely like it.
Oh, one thing I will say about this, Final Fantasy fans are a little hypocritical when it comes to this one, because they always talk up how fucking 13 sucks, and for the record, I've replayed 13 in recent years. Yeah, it sucks, but they always talk about how linear that game is. Final Fantasy X is way more linear than 13. Like, way more. Like, 13 will have, like, 2 branching hallways, and it'll be like, here's your branching hallways. Final Fantasy X has 1 hallway. Like, the whole game. Like, it's way more linear, but, like, no one ever shits on 10 for that. And I'm just gonna bring it up, that, like, 10 is, like, 1,000 times more linear than 13. But anyway, it's fine. No, it's a great game. I enjoyed it.
All right.
All right, moving on. Oh, 8 out of 10, also.
8 out of motherfucking 10.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. This is a game.
Final Fantasy VII bordered on open world at times. That's, I mean, like, linear in its story maybe, but like you could go wherever the fuck you wanted. There was mini games. There was like large open like maps. That's not true. Final Fantasy X was not linear at all. Neither was 9, for the record.
Eventually, I'll play them.
Definitely worth it. Play original 7. If you can get over the shitty graphics, original 7 is way better than remake.
First of all, they're not shitty graphics; they're perfect graphics.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2. I've played this game so many fucking times.
Yeah, I played Final Mix, and I did 100% this game.
Hey, guess what, John? I 100%ed this game like 2 years ago on stream.
I did it. I finally did it. Finally 100% of a game. Well, this game in particular, because I've always wanted to do it. I'm always like, I'll do it next time. Then I'll do it next time. And next time never comes.
Arsik, the Kingdom Hearts guy, said he never managed to beat any of the data forms.
Really?
Yeah, I some of them are pretty easy, so I don't know how that's... I mean, some of them are rough, don't get me wrong, but some of them are pretty easy, so I'm not sure why that... I'm not sure how he never beat any of them?
Yeah, I don't remember which one was the hardest one.
Axel, and I want to say, like, Luxor, the gambling guy, those are the ones I had the most trouble with. There's a very precise input on the gambling guy that you have to, like, first off, you have to react to it, but also there's, like, issues with, like, because I was streaming it, I had to deal with, like, lag from the capture card, lag from the TV, lag from the PS4 controller. It was aggressive.
That sounds like a nightmare.
And I had to react in time, and it's only on there for like a few frames in the first place. It was like basically unhittable as a reaction, but Kingdom Hearts 2 is somewhere. Anyway, yeah, talk about the game real quick. Oh, Kingdom Hearts 2 is my 33rd on my current favorite list of all the games we've played, and Final Fantasy 7 is 30th. Fun fact.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is still one of my favorite games to play. I started playing it again just because mostly I was like, you know what, I need to play a game because I haven't played a game in a while. So I started playing this like right at the end. I started playing this right after the Game Awards or the award show that we did. So I was like, I need to play a game, and then I started playing. You know what? And I was like, you know what, motherfucker, this time I'm gonna 100% this bitch, and I did.
Did we talk about Kingdom Hearts on the awards?
We didn't, but I don't know why. But it made me want to play this game.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like, you know what? I've never fully beaten it. I want to do it, so I just grinded my way to the top. Fought all the bosses, beat Sephiroth, who was honestly pretty easy.
Really easy. I was not able to. It took me 20 tries as a kid. I know because I counted as a child to beat Sephiroth. And then when I did it on stream, I was like, I remember walking into the Sephiroth fight on stream and I'm being like, okay, get ready to be here for the next 12 hours. And I think it was like first try. And I was like, what the fuck? Why did that give me so much trouble?
I did a second try because because I've never fought him before, so I was like, I'm gonna go in there and just see what his moves are like, and I was like, okay, cool. And then
he deals half your health bar in the first hit.
Yeah, and then I was like, cool. So I came back after I leveled up a lot, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it again, and then just fucking annihilated him.
Controversially, the metal chocobo you get for beating Sephiroth is actually better than the ultimate weapon.
That's the one I'm using.
Because
that's the one I finished it.
Yeah, it reduces your combo by 1. And as a kid, I used to think, and when I was first playing this game, when I did it on stream, I was like, all about that combo extenders. And then I realized that's fucking stupid. You need to get your combo down to 0. So it's just finishing moves, because that's where your damage is coming from, not comboing. Combos are bad in this game.
Yeah, I think I was basically just finisher by the end of the game.
It's how look, if you're gonna beat the data forms, that's how you got to do it.
Yeah, because the only way you to get the last hit, it has to be a finisher.
Yeah.
So
if every attack's a finisher,
I figured that out. It was one of the lost memories or whatever. Mm-hmm. I was like fighting one of them. I can't remember which one. But I was like, fuck, like. I cannot get a finisher off of this. And then like I remembered that if you do combo downs, you do finishers way more often. So I was like, I've been playing this wrong this whole time.
I had almost the exact same like thought process. I don't know. It's recorded on stream. The exact moment where I realized I'm like, wait a minute, is combo up a noob trap?
It is
the noob trap.
It almost got me, not this time.
Mm-hmm.
Not this time. It didn't get me. But no, this it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun replaying this game. I did watch all the cutscenes in it. It was fun experiencing the final mix stuff finally because I kind of always just skipped over it.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, beating the final boss is a joke when you're at like max level with all the best stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just fucking.
It's just really funny how you just annihilate them.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna eventually move on to Kingdom Hearts 3 and replay that again to see if my opinion on Kingdom Hearts 3 will change after a second playthrough.
I think mine is on a shelf wrapped in plastic, and I've had it for like 4 years.
Fair enough.
I've never opened it.
I got it the day it came out.
I got it for a birthday, and then I never played it because I wanted to replay all of the previous Kingdom Hearts, and then my PlayStation broke. So one day if I get a PS5 that can play all the PS4 games, I'll deal with that. But, yeah. We'll also get back to Kingdom Hearts on that day.
Kingdom Hearts.
Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum.
More like Kingdom Farts, am I right, boys? That was bad. I'm sorry.
I know, I sandbagged it. I was like, he needs to know what he did. Um,
You know what he knows what he did wrong.
yes, I love reaction commands. It's how I feel like QuickTime events should be done. It's almost like God and War that where you like hit triangle at like the correct moment and then it just does something cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
especially
Like,
at the end where you're
reaction
deflecting
command's
the like
great.
shots from Xemnas. It's great.
Yeah, it is great.
There's a
That's
lot
true.
of there's a lot of badass scenes in this game.
It's still to this day my favorite Kingdom Hearts game.
Hmm.
And I played everyone because I didn't finish. I didn't do Recoded, and I didn't finish the one on PSP,
No idea.
the prequel one. I can't remember the name of it. Well, he plays Aquaterra and Ventus.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah. I know. Yeah, the Keyblade War one. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played
Yeah,
a bunch of
I
them.
didn't finish that one yet.
I haven't played a bunch of them. Birth by Sleep.
Birth by Sleep, yeah.
Birth by Sleep
I
is
didn't play
on
that one.
the like compilation, so I do have it, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, I own all of them on PlayStation 5 and Xbox. So nice, I bought them twice. Because I have a problem.
Yeah, I own multiple copies of these games also.
Yeah. I almost bought them on PlayStation as well. Or no, on PC, I mean.
Yeah, I refuse. Bought them enough.
I didn't.
Once later down the line, once I get through Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm gonna hop off this train because I'm done. I don't want it anymore.
And then by that time, the next one will be out, and you're like, well,
No, because the next one is out. It's like Melody of Memory or some shit. I don't give a shit. I'm done.
I haven't played that one yet. Yeah.
3 feels like it's probably gonna be the ending. Like I haven't gotten to the end, but it seems from what I've heard, it's like the end of like the like Keyblade War saga or like the Xehanort saga. So it's like that feels like a great place to stop then.
Yeah, one would think.
I'm sure there's like some kind of like cliffhanger, but who gives a fuck? Like honestly, I don't care. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts.
It's got Drake Bell in it.
Huh?
It's got Drake Bell in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's in the ending stinger.
Nice. That aged very well.
It did. That's why it's funny. It's really funny.
This is also some of Tetsuya Nomura's better character designs for this game. Can we talk about that? Compared to the first game? Really look at the character designs from the first game, and then compare that to this game. It's not comparable. Tetsuya Nomura is usually a pretty bad character designer. Anyway, yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2. I did a full review, that's why I'm not talking too much about it.
No, fair enough. It's still up there as one of my favorite games.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always enjoy it. It was definitely fun actually playing it all the way through and playing and experiencing everything the game that the game had to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the mushrooms. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
They suck. I never want to ever do that again. I will never 100% this again.
I'm gonna quickly dispute something Pache said. Pache says that Tetsuya Nomura is a better character designer than he is a director, and I'm gonna disagree with that. I think he is an okay game director. I think he is a terrible game writer. Please keep him out of the writing room.
He's like, so you see, we got Donald and Goofy, right?
And ghosts.
Also, these blades are made of keys, key blades.
And Sephiroth appears and kills everyone.
Also, Pete's a bad guy for some reason.
Also, alternate timelines. There's 2 dogs.
There's so many fucking timelines.
I just watched Millie Miz. We gotta make this shit a musical.
Also, let's put Frozen in number 3. Everyone seems to really like that Frozen movie. What a terrible decision. Because when Kingdom Hearts 3, I had just with like I'd seen Frozen like 1,000 times at that point. So when when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, I was just like, do I really have to go through this fucking stage? Of course I do. Are they gonna sing the song? Of course they are. I hate this.
That's kind of a bit of a producer issue, though, that he put them in development hell. Not so much of a directorial issue. He's also a shitty producer. Frozen's a good movie.
No. Not when you've seen it as many times as I have.
It's a good movie. You're just oversaturated with it, which is fine, but it's a good movie.
Okay, I mean, it's okay to like it.
It's a good movie. It's a very popular movie.
Yeah, that's why it's in the goddamn game, and I hate
Menzel
it.
fucking killed it. Are you kidding? Let it go. Let it go. With the wind
Alright,
and
so
sky.
today I'm announcing my retirement from the Cold Topic podcast.
Oh no! I'll have to pull the trigger on my backup project that I've had assets for a while.
I was kidding.
I wasn't. Okay! Moving on. Oh yeah, give this game a rating.
9 out of 10.
8. I'll give it an 8. It used to be a 9. I'll give it an 8 now. Alright, moving on. This is normally where we pee. Do you have to pee?
Yeah, I do need to pee and go get some chips.
Ooh. You should not be eating chips. It will come up on the audio.
I have a mute button right here for that reason.
Okay. I'm formally against this.
I want chips.
I'm formally against this idea.
I want chips.
All right, well, we'll be right back in about 5 minutes or so. Made is super wrong. Frozen is a great movie. It is a great movie. I will defend Frozen. It's a good movie. Yeah. You're just sick of it.
I am sick of it.
Hans is a delight. I love Hans.
Hans
is like my favorite character.
Hans Grubenstein. MIB, yeah, I'm gonna try to, yeah, okay. 5 minutes.
All right, 5 minutes. We'll be right back.
5 minutes. After these messages from our sponsor.
Who is?
Original Coke.
Yo. That's the best beverage in the world.
Yeah, it's got cocaine in it, baby.
Oh, like original Coke?
Yeah, like
Yo, that's the second best beverage in the world. And we're back. About that chair, I got like an office chair that's designed to be sat in for like 10 plus hours at a time. It's like the greatest chair I've ever bought. It was expensive, but my back was worth it.
You know, I work at Staples where we sell those types of chairs, but I've yet to buy a new chair.
It's like the best purchase. Yeah, it's got like air springs. Oh, it's a delight. It's great.
I know. I definitely need to get a new one.
Those gamer chairs will kill you. I cannot recommend enough to not use them. Literally, any chair is better than them. They're a complete money sink that are just designed to vampire your money away.
Vampires.
Vampires, indeed. And speaking of vampires, moving on to our next topic. Why Frozen is a great movie. Fuck you. All right.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. I hear this is terrible.
So there are 3 good episodes of the show out of 9.
Okay,
4 out of 9.
9? I thought they were I think they were doing 6 episode seasons now.
So this is more like formatted like a sitcom, kind of like Ally McBeal.
What?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what that is.
Oh, Ally McBeal is a lawyer show from like the 90s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't born yet, I'm sure. Continue.
Yeah, so out of the 9 episodes, there's 4 really good ones. There's 2 solid ones, and then the rest are kind of like just filler episodes.
Okay.
but the filler episodes do serve a purpose. So I mean, they're okay. But there's an episode with Daredevil that's still great.
Excuse me.
uh,
Yeah, they
Daredevil
bang,
actually
right?
does. Oh yeah, they bang.
Lucky.
Yeah, they bang, and he also finally does some acrobatic stuff too, and it looks really good. And I really enjoyed it. Best Daredevil representation so far.
Okay.
But yeah, this show sets up some things, but I really like Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk and Jennifer Walters just in general. I just want to throw that out there. I feel like this show could have just been like a 6-episode thing.
Hmm?
Easily just 6 episodes, maybe make them 40 minutes, 45 minutes instead of like the 30, 35 they were going for. I understand why they did that, but it was kind of weird. I didn't hate it, but it's definitely my least favorite Marvel show so far. But it's good. The first episode is like obviously her becoming She-Hulk and stuff like that. So it's a lot of Bruce is in it too. So a lot of Bruce and Hulk are in it. So that's good. But I mean overall it's like if I could rate the show, it'd probably be a solid 6 altogether.
Okay.
The CG does look a lot better in some of the episodes. It looks like the later episodes they definitely like had more time with, obviously, since it was a week to week basis type show. But yeah, so like the first episode, you can definitely tell like the She-Hulk CGI was a little spotty, but everything past episode 4 like looked really good.
I mean, can we please give the CG a break? Some poor Disney animators got flogged in their desk for making this.
But yeah, it's an okay show. It kind of teases you with things. I'm gonna go full spoilers because whatever. Scar does show up at the end. Bruce goes back to Sakaar, and comes back with the son. So that's fun.
I'm going to remember who the fuck Scar is. It sounds so familiar.
It's his son who was born on
right, Sakaar. Who exploded, right?
Yeah, well, his wife exploded, but unbeknownst to him, she was pregnant, and then he was like born from.
Oh, I thought he died in the explosion.
Yeah,
because I thought we found out she was pregnant, and then he explosion died. So I guess they did like a plot twist where they're like, "Haha, you thought he died, but he didn't because he was too Hulk."
Yeah, he comes back like at the end of World War Hulk, I believe. Yeah, and it's like, Dad, stop, bro.
No, that's no.
Or maybe it's after. I don't know.
Yeah, probably after.
Yeah, it might be after then. Yeah, it's hard to remember all the.
No, yeah, fair.
But yeah, She-Hulk is okay. Daredevil still great. Still think Charlie Cox's Daredevil is one of the best out there, and still is.
As opposed to Ben Affleck and
just Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I guess you could count like the '90s Spider-Man cartoon version of Daredevil, which is the second best. Ben Affleck's being third best, but if we're keeping track,
I remember liking that movie as a kid and then getting sick of it because I watched it too much. Because it was on like FX.
Oh yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say it was probably on FX a lot. Yeah. I need to rewatch that movie again. It's been a while. Because I like to just watch shitty movies.
It's the greatest movie of all time.
No. Elektra is.
Ooh,
but yeah,
spicy.
No, it's not.
I have not seen Elektra actually.
Don't.
I have heard that.
If I could make it a recommendation, it would be not to do that. But yeah, it's solid. The last episode is there's a lot of fourth wall breaks in the show, which is obviously very in tune with their character, and they do it very creatively, especially in the last episode when she kind of just busts out of the Disney Plus thing and into the real world. And I thought that was pretty neat. And she meets a version of Kevin Feige that's kind of like this AI robot, and I think it's really funny. And a lot of people hated it, but I didn't. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a cool show, but definitely like my least favorite of the shows so far. But yeah, 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10, the highest rating the show has ever received ever.
Probably, yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
All right, I watched Cobra Kai season 5. John, you are not on that Cobra Kai train, are you?
No, not yet.
Let me pitch you Cobra Kai. Karate Wars.
You had me at Karate Wars.
That is the plot of Cobra Kai. Following the defeat of the Miyagi-Do Eagle Fang Dojo defeat at the end of season 4, Cobra Kai is now the only dojo in the valley. But hold on. Because what Manuel was his name is? Oh fuck, I forgot the main guy's name. Hold on. I can't believe I forgot. Miguel. Fucking, there went my brain for a second. Miguel ran away to Mexico, and it's up to Johnny Lawrence and his shitty kid to go down to Mexico and save Miguel from his, I'm pretty sure, drug kingpin father. All the while, Silvers is trying to expand Cobra Kai to a global scale by having Cobra Kai take part in the Sekai Taikai. And, of course, Danny, being a fucking lunatic, is determined to stop them. And ruin his relationship and everyone he knows while doing it.
Good job, Danny.
This is a really interesting season. What I will say is that, like, it's split into two pieces because it has to follow Johnny and Danny. And following Johnny to Mexico and trying to save Miguel from his, like, drug kingpin father is, like, 1 billion times more interesting than the fucking Karate Wars plot. As nutso as that sounds, every time it cut over to, like, Danny being like, we gotta stop Cobra Kai, I'm like, I don't care. Go back to Mexico, please. What's the Mexico crew doing? Yeah, Danny goes more than a little crazy in this one, to the point where he tries to fight Johnny. And even Johnny's like, are you okay right now? Do you need, like, a beer? And Danny's like, oh my god, if you're asking this, I have lost my mind. Johnny's like, yeah, you just tried to fight me for no reason. Anyway, yeah, they team up and they take on Silvers. At one point, this one is also, like, weirdly bloody and violent compared to all the other seasons. A guy gets his thumb chopped off. And another guy gets, like, split open with a sword, and you see his, like, blood pooling around in a fountain. It's, like, weirdly gory at parts. But yeah, the karate war intensifies, and this could act as a good, this could act as a really good finale to Cobra Kai. If they don't make a Cobra Kai 6, that's okay. I think this is a good ending. I feel like they got all the characters good places. They theoretically taken Cobra Kai out of the fight for the most part. And yeah, I feel like everyone managed to complete their arc. So it was pretty good. It was a good season. I was very satisfied where it went. But they left enough hanging plot threads that if there was a Cobra Kai 6, there could be a Cobra Kai 6. That was it. That was
Cobra Kai. Probably will be.
I would enjoy that very much. But yeah, that's Cobra Kai number 6, season 5. I mean, Cobra Kai season 5, Karate Wars. It heats up and swords get involved.
As they should.
Yes. All right. Oh, and at one point, a fucking Korean assassin lady shows up. It's great. And the best part about the whole show is you remember that it's all Danny's fault. And also, that this is about teaching children karate. And they got fucking swords involved at one point.
As they should.
All right. And also,
karate
someone fell off a 3-story building onto their fucking spine at one point.
Well, shit.
It's a delight. It's a delightful show. It's very good.
Sounds pretty delightful.
All right. Sometimes it's so bad it's good, and then sometimes it's just good. So it's very rarely bad. All right, moving on. I don't know what this is.
Werewolf by Night.
As are most werewolves.
Yes. Werewolf by Night is a supernatural Marvel hero who is a man who turns into a werewolf. And his name just happens to be Jack Russell.
Oh, fuck. I hate everything you just said.
Yeah, he's been a part of the Midnight Suns. He's been in a couple different monster groups. So, this was one of Marvel's new things that they're doing called a special presentation, where it's just focused on one character, and it's between 50 minutes and an hour long.
It's also part of an old thing they're doing, which is called milking everything they can out of a franchise that probably should have died a while ago.
That too. I like this format a lot better than some of the TV show formats they've been doing, like especially She-Hulk, where I thought they could have been cut down. Like a lot of the shows could have been cut down probably by an episode or two.
They made an OVA, basically.
Basically, yeah. So, the plot of this is well, what the hell? Fucking Ulysses Bloodstone dies, so it's a gathering of monster hunters.
The man's name is Ulysses Bloodstone?
Yes.
Oh my god. All right, continue.
He's been around for a very long time. So yeah, they all gather in order to
fan.
In order to obtain the Bloodstone, which is a powerful artifact which helps fight monsters. It actually weakens monsters and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Define a monster.
Man-Thing. Vampires. Werewolves. Creepy stuff. I don't know. Ghosts.
Does it work on like a Hulk? Can you?
No, it wouldn't work. I don't know if it works on Hulk. Maybe. We'll see.
I have to look up fucking Man-Thing because I'm like, what the fuck is Man-Thing?
Man-Thing is in this. Is aka Ted, because that is his real name.
Theodore Ted Solace.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Man-Thing is basically Swamp Thing, but I think I like Man-Thing a lot better. Because he just looks more creative than just a green man that Swamp Thing is. But Swamp Thing also did have his own TV show and terrible movie and pretty good TV show that came out and then got immediately canceled. But
it was also written by Alan Moore, and he appears in the Harley Quinn TV show.
Oh, Swamp Thing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alan Moore went, speaking of Alan Moore, he went crazy a couple days ago. I was like, I'm not doing comic books anymore.
I'm gonna correct you. Went crazy a couple days ago, and Alan Moore is probably not something that you can accurately say. More like went crazy 40 years ago and is still crazy, but people decided to give him a fucking microphone again.
Yeah, that's true too, I guess. Yeah. Fair enough, yeah. I don't know, he just went on like a rant about comic books and shit like that. And he was like, I hope HBO never contacts me again to do another watch. If I have permission to do Watchmen stuff, like I don't care. It's like, all right, dude. Go to sleep, old man.
He goes on this fucking rant every time anyone talks to him. They're like, "What do you think about this thing?" He's like, "Fucking hate it. I hate comic books. I hated comic books in the '80s. Why are you asking me about this? My opinion didn't change."
I'm actually a real big fan of Power Rangers now, so. But yeah, so yeah,
I'm a real big Riri Williams fan. I'm one of the 3 people that are a Riri Williams fan.
That is crazy. Yeah, but yeah, this entire feature, except for the last 5 minutes, are in black and white, which I thought was a cool little thing they did. Kind of is reminiscent of like an old 40s, 50s, 60s like horror movie where it's like black and white and stuff like that. It looks pretty cool. The guy from The Beach That Makes You Old is in it, and I finally enjoy a movie or a thing that he's in, so that's good. Because I've only seen this and The Beach That Makes You Old.
Did somebody get thrown into a train?
There was no trains.
This sounds like this sucks, John. You're not really selling me.
I didn't know we were measuring things by how many trains are in them.
Yeah.
No train.
Ugh.
This is pretty violent though. It's pretty gory, which I think is interesting to see. I mean, the guy gets a fucking sword in his head. People's limbs get cut off. It was a pretty fun watch. I really enjoy this. I feel like they need to do more of these kind of like quick 50-minute things to introduce a character instead of doing a 6-episode type format, which I think is something that they're leaning more towards now since this was a pretty big success. Also, I want more Man-Thing.
Everyone wants more Man-Thing. It's just the more Man-Thing, the better. Especially if it's big.
Was a fun character.
Everybody loves big Man-Things.
Damn right.
Mm-hmm. I love them when they're green. Man-Thing.
Oh, I was gonna say any other colors? Just green.
Just green. Just green Man-Things.
Okay. But yeah, I definitely think that they should do more things like this. Word has it that Nova is going to be turned into like a special presentation now, which I'm fine with.
Everyone loves Nova. Everyone's favorite character, Nova. A character people forgot about for 20 years.
People have been asking for Nova in these movies since Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
You're saying people have been asking for it. People asked where was. That is a different thing.
We need Nova. I could honestly care less about Nova.
Most people could care less about Nova. Nobody gives a shit about Nova.
I'm more invested in the supernatural side of this stuff right now because it's different. So I'm kind of more invested to see where like this kind of stuff goes. And like Blade just got delayed another year, so I was looking forward to Blade next year, but it's not coming out now.
Oh no,
next year. So
I won't watch it. Probably
because Moon Knight kind of was like the start of the supernatural stuff. So, you know, we got that, and now we have this, and now it's like now I gotta wait a little bit longer. But I'm more invested in the supernatural side of it.
No, it was not. Doctor Strange was.
Man.
Well, yeah, I mean, true. Honestly, Thor was.
True, but I mean, like more of the creepier stuff, you know, like the spookier stuff. I like the spoopy stuff,
the horror elements, yeah.
Yeah, like Doctor Strange too had a lot of the horror element stuff to it, but it was also a Doctor Strange movie too. So like that's more of the magic side. I want to see some vampires and shit.
Oh, I heard Benedict Cumberbatch rewrote some scenes so it would be more horror-y in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I was reading that the other day. Yeah. Which I'm like, good for him.
Yeah.
He's like, I played this character enough. I could do this. But yeah. Werewolf by Night, 8 out of 10. Good.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah. It was a good watch. It was only an hour long. Well, it was under an hour long, so it was like very easy to digest. I like the way it was shot. It was shot by it was directed by a man who is a composer. And for a person who's never directed anything, he did a damn good job at this. And the werewolf stuff was 100% practical, which I thought was super awesome.
Ooh, nice.
Yep. Yeah. Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night. Get it at a Disney store near you. Next to
it's on
Frozen. I will not let it go. So.
Stop.
No.
So now we're moving on to the Fast and Furious hour.
Actually, we're going to talk about a brief anecdote because you mentioned black and white and it reminded me of something. I had a lot happen. It was 2 fucking months. I had
Well, yeah.
a severe multi-day blackout. Um,
Go on.
and no power, right? But let me talk about this. It was so dark outside. It was so dark that, like, they say when it gets to a certain level of darkness, you just start hallucinating, and that definitely happened to me. First off, it was so dark that I started seeing everything as green. At night, this was at night, right? So I start, like, the darkness, like, the black turned green at one point, and I'm like, huh, everything's green. That's weird. But another thing is, like, at one point I hallucinated that there was just a light just in the corner of my vision, just shining bright light, and it was there even when I closed my eyes, just this light just there with me at all times. It was delightful. There wasn't anything to do, so I just kind of sat around for a while. It was great, honestly, not that bad. Apparently I can just sit and do nothing for for like an hour, and I'll be totally okay in complete pitch black, complete sensory deprivation darkness. But the reason I brought this up is I was drinking a Coca-Cola. It was a little bit late at night, and it was super dark outside, and I could still see everything because I was doing it in front of a window, but I noticed that my Coke can was black. And then I realized, oh, there are no colors. Everything is black and white. Oh, this is crazy. Because I knew that, like, color goes away when it gets dark, but usually it's either, like, I can see the colors because there's enough light, or it's just too dark to see. But, like, it was at, like, this, like, fine line where I could make everything out, but there was zero color. It was cool. It was like low light vision in D&D. It was great. I had a blackout. I had a big blackout.
That sounds terrifying.
What about that sounds terrifying?
Just being pitch black.
Nah, it's fine. Was the darkest thing ever, though. It was like a void.
I thought we were talking about Fast and the Furious movies and not Vin Diesel's other movie, Pitch Black.
I was thinking of Chronicles of Riddick, but yeah.
No, well, Pitch Black, and then Chronicles of Riddick's after that.
Yes, of course. Anyway.
Timeline-wise.
Speaking of Vin Diesel, let's talk about a movie Vin Diesel isn't in. Too Fast, Too Furious. All right.
So many... this list is very furious.
Too Fast, Too Furious takes place after the events of the original Fast and the Furious franchise, where Dom, portrayed by Vin Diesel, is arrested by Paul Walker's character, Sam? Hold on. What's his name? Brian. It's Brian. I've seen so many of these movies, and I didn't know it was Brian off the top of my head. Yeah, okay, yeah, anyway, last movie, Dom got arrested by Brian, right? And so basically, he is in some hot water. He's in some hot water now, Brian is, because he let Dom off the hook at the end of the movie. I said Dom got arrested and he didn't. I'm a fucking liar. He let Dom escape. But anyway, in order to clear his name, he has to team up with his like childhood friend Ramon or Romano, something like that. Roman. It's Roman. He has to team up with childhood friend Roman, and they have to take down a drug dealer. Or a drug kingpin. And if I remember, no one knows the identity of the drug kingpin. That might be 4. Anyway, this movie's great. This movie's better than the first one. They drive a car into a boat at one point. It's a delight. Do recommend Too Fast, Too Furious.
I think that one's my favorite one out of all of them.
Have you seen all of them?
I've seen everyone up to 7.
I've seen everyone up to 7. Awesome.
I didn't see 7. Yeah.
Yeah, Too Fast, Too Furious is pretty great. I enjoyed this movie. They drive a car into a boat at one point. There's also a really good character dynamic between Brian and Roman during this. So yes. Yeah, okay, moving on. I will give this a 7 out of 10. All right, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift is maybe the worst of these movies. It has pretty much no one from the original cast. This one is the one with Sam. He's like a 16-year-old that looks like he's 30. And he is trying to learn the Tokyo style of car racing. Is DHMIS on the docket? I have no idea what that is. Anyway, yeah. Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, right? So he basically ends up in trouble with not like a Yakuza gang, but like a gang that has vague ties to the Yakuza, and he ends up like racing against them. This introduces fan favorite character Han, who is the best, and he's so much of the best that this became an inadvertent prequel. No, I didn't watch Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. I don't give a shit about it. I never liked it in the first place. Yeah, so Han is like the best character, so much so that this became an inadvertent prequel, and that yeah, they bring him back for like the next like 5 movies. Just because everyone loved Han so much. What I will say about the end of this movie, however, it's not very good. It's kind of boring, and there's no reason to like there's no reason to like any of the characters. I kind of hate all of these characters. Well, I don't hate them. They're not interesting. They're not interesting. The movie's not interesting. Han is cool. But the end of this movie has a drifting highway. Like, they're like driving down the highway at night with all these like twists and turns, and they're drifting. It's like the best race sequence in the entire series. But yeah, otherwise this is pretty boring. I'll give it like a 4 out of 10. Fast and Furious, Tokyo, Drift. Also, I saw a commercial recently. They taught where they used the Tokyo Drift theme for like. I think it was like a phone commercial. I think it was like a Sprint commercial. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Sprint?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I was like, this has nothing to do with anything. All right, moving on to Fast and Furious, the 4th movie. We have Dom back. Turns out Letty got killed. Oh, no-y. Brian was the one that got her killed after he cleared his name in Too Fast, Too Furious. Oh, no-y. Now Dom is trying to avenge her by taking out a different drug kingpin. This happens a lot.
Yeah, this is basically all the movies.
This is a pretty good film, honestly. It's got like this dynamic between like Brian and Dom, where they're like competing against each other and they're racing. They have to like work with a drug kingpin undercover. There's some good action scenes in this. I don't remember anything particularly noteworthy, and basically anything that notably happened in this movie is later like either retconned or changed in a later movie. So it's like the least important movie. No, I'm wrong. Dom gets arrested at the end of this movie. I'm wrong about that. They arrest Dom at the end. But yeah, no, they hit a man with a car after driving through an exploding mine into another car. And this is as you start to learn that the Fast and the Furious franchise is actually a series of superhero films. And their superpower is that they gain video game-like buffs whenever they are in proximity to a car. And the more cars they are in proximity to, the more they gain buffs. So if you try and fight one of them in a garage or a parking lot, you're going to get your shit pushed in. But if you fight them in like the middle of a house, a pretty good chance. And if you think I'm lying, go watch all of the movies and really pay attention to any fight scene that is surrounded by cars versus fight scenes that are not surrounded by cars.
You're not wrong.
Their superpowers are cars. All right, moving on to Fast 5. Okay, Fast 5 is, if I recall correctly, one of the more boring of the movies, although it is the one that brings in Dwayne Johnson, who is an Interpol agent who is trying to hunt down the crew after rescuing Dom at the end of Fast and Furious. And they're being hunted by Dwayne Johnson's character. Meanwhile, the crew, the team, the family are trying to steal a bank vault from... Was it another drug kingpin? It might have been another drug kingpin.
Something like that, yeah.
Anyway, the movie's not, I don't think, very good. I think this is one of the worst Fast and the Furious movies, but what I will say, to Fast Five's credit, is there is an ending scene where they are driving with a safe attached to two cars down the street, and it is just wrecking the shit out of the entire street and, like, flipping over, and it looks super crazy and super dangerous. And that is because that was a practical effect.
It was, yeah.
And that
they had a car underneath the vault.
Yes.
So there was a car somewhere.
Yes.
Does it make it safer? Absolutely not.
It's fucking nuts, and I don't think the movie's very good, but that ending scene is something to behold. For sure. But you can probably also look it up. But anyway, moving on from Fast 5. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You said you've seen them all. I have not asked you your opinion because I don't care about it. No.
2 is definitely the best.
Mm-hmm.
4, I also did like. For some reason, I liked 5 a lot because it's a dumb action movie.
Fair.
But that's about it.
They plan a heist the entire movie, and then the end, their final solution is they just drive through. We gotta plan this precise heist. The heist has become, we drive into a police station.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, Fast and Furious 6. This is my favorite one, I think. I think this is my favorite one. Okay, so they need to do one more job for Interpol to clear their names. They've got to take out a dude named Hobbs, I think. Or Shaw.
Is that, yeah.
They have to take out Shaw. They have to take out a dude named Shaw in this film. And because the only one Interpol can count... No, they have to take out a dude named Shaw because he's trying to get a... Is this the one where he's trying to get a satellite that hacks in... No, that's the next one. He's trying to get, like, nuclear launch codes, I think, in this.
Something like that, yeah.
It's a fucking batshit. I love this movie. This movie is an absolute fucking delight. At one point, they're driving down the craziest, most death-defying highway you've ever seen, and a fucking tank shows up. And they're running from a tank. At one point, Vin Diesel drives a car through a plane. And when I heard that happens in this franchise, I always assumed he was driving the car inside of the plane. No, I was fucking stupid. He drives it through the plane, through the nose of the plane as it's exploding behind him.
Hey, why would you think anything else?
Because it didn't make sense. I fucking love it. It's great. There's a line in this movie that I cannot get over because it is so stupid and I love it so much. They're driving away from a tank that's going down the highway, right? And there's another highway going on the other side along this long bridge on what can only be considered a death gorge, right? But like a pretty one. Yeah. And there's a tank driving, and they're driving away, and then they get launched away from the tank, and like Letty's flying through the air, and Dom jumps after her, and they're like suspended in midair. Then he catches her in midair, and they slam into a car on the other side of the bridge. And then Dom is like, "Oh, thank God that car was there." And I'm like, cars are only marginally softer than the ground. You still hit a car at the speed of sound! What do you mean? The car can't break your fall!
Thank God the cars are superpowers.
Thank God that car broke my fall. I only hit a car at the speed of sound. This movie is amazing. Oh, I love it. I love it. This is great. This is a great film. It's fucking great. It's also the only one with a normal name.
Fast and Furious 6?
Yes. Think about the names of all of the other movies. They're fucking jokes.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the last one I've seen. Movie nights has been delayed a few weeks. Furious 7. They're not fast anymore. They're just furious. Because they need to get revenge. Because now the brother of Shaw is coming to try and take out the family. This is also notably the last Paul Walker film. Excuse me. And I am sorry to say that this is not very good. Unfortunately, it's kind of boring, and I think a major issue is the egos that the director had to do while balancing this. Is because now the movie has 3 bald action men, and apparently this created a problem because they all have in their contracts that they have to look big and tough at all times, and so they had to carefully calculate who is winning each fight and the number of hits being landed in which scenarios, so that at no point nobody looks weak. So they have it set up so that all of the the 3 bald action men have basically landed the same number of points in fights throughout the entire movie. It's kind of really boring. Although at one point Vin Diesel stomps the ground and then he explodes a hallway and it collapses into a parking lot. You thought I made that up, but I didn't. Oh, and Vin Diesel, he also lifts a car in this movie, and it has nothing. It's not even addressed. He just lifts it. He's just like, ugh. Oh, and they drive a car into a building and then into a third building, through a skyscraper.
It's the power of family on cars, bro.
They have superpowers related to their cars. It's fucking nuts. Yeah, no. The movie's actually kind of boring, though. What I will say. Oh, no. Another issue I had was the direction in this movie. I forget the exact issue. I think there was too many cuts or something. It kind of looks awful to look at times. I think part of it might be they had to cut around Paul Walker, though, who died in a car accident while filming this. So.
Irony.
He was not driving, I found out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Have I ever told you the tale of Darth Plagueis to Wise?
No, go ahead.
Damn it, I wasn't ready for that. Normally people say no.
No, I'm all about it. Get me on that dark side train.
Well, he brought people back to life, Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You're telling me that this man could bring people back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Could he also perhaps create life from the midichlorians?
He could.
Do you mean that if I become a Sith, I could rape God?
You could.
Ooh, spicy. All right. Anyway, Fast and the Furious franchise. They're good, actually. Most of them. Most of them are good. I'd actually recommend them. Nobody saw that coming.
Nope. I did not. Because I've only really liked one of them, so.
No, maybe you need to rewatch Fast and Furious 6, where they fucking use a car to break their fall. And they try and outrun a train. Not a train. Tank. No, they're good. Most of them are good. Half of them are good. Half of them. About 50% of these are good. I will keep you updated as we get into the Fate of the Furious. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, and the aptly named F9
Yeah, they kind of just gave up, you know.
They did, and then the next one is called, you guessed it, Fast X, where they have confirmed that they will be driving cars in space. I cannot wait.
I can.
I can't wait.
I
It's
think
gonna.
when that one comes, I think when that.
Can't hear you.
I think when that one comes out, that's when I'll officially watch all of them again.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have a 10 movie marathon. I'm not gonna watch
11.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
No, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it.
Okay.
Nope. No thank you. I don't need a fucking spin-off. No thank you.
With the most charismatic Hollywood actors, Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson.
Is it those two?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Idris Elba is the bad guy. Yeah.
I wasn't aware there was a bad guy in that, but okay.
Yeah, they
So-
gotta team up, bro.
Yeah. Well, wait,
Because-
no, wait. I sorry, I got Idris Elba mixed up with Ezra Miller. Idris Elba has more charisma than both of them combined.
I love Idris Elba.
Yeah, Idris Elba's a delight.
He is. He really is.
Okay. Yeah, no, they're good. Most of them are good. Half of them are good. I recommend them. All right, moving on.
Moving on.
All right, to a movie that's not as good. And the best thing that it ever did was create a Jimmy Neutron parody episode.
Hulk, 2003. Yes, I
Got a
have the VHS.
Fucking VHS?
I have it on VHS.
What wizardry?
I found this recently.
I have not
'cause
seen
I
the
went to
ancient tablets in so long.
I found it. It was at my grandpa's house. With a couple other VHSs, which included Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man, on VHS as well.
The Raimi one?
So when I found them, yes, the Raimi one.
Okay.
So when I found this and I brought it home, I said, you know what? I'm gonna watch this movie again. So last week I watched this movie again,
Sorry.
and boy howdy, this is it's still not good. It's still not good. The fact that Ang Lee decided, hey, instead of having Eric Bana be the Hulk, why don't I be the Hulk? That makes way more sense, right? Not the paid actor whose likeness we're using. I hate this movie. This movie is terrible. There's nothing good about this movie. The only good thing about this movie is when he gets bit in the nuts by the dog during the dogfight scene, and then he just kicks the fucking dog because it's hilarious. And it's a CGI dog, so it's not like it's real animal cruelty, so it's fine. But that's probably the best part about this movie, and the part where him and his dad are like having that weird like monologue together too. Like that, I don't know why. Like I know that part is terrible, but for some reason I just adore it. I don't know why. It's really bad. I just like shitty things sometimes.
Don't we all, though?
Yeah, I just have a bad habit of watching shitty stuff. I don't know what it is. I need to stop.
You need to stop, indeed. Is that it for
need to stop.
Hulk?
I do like Jennifer Connelly as Betty Ross,
Okay.
and also what's his name is General Thunderbolt Ross. But I feel like
My dad.
my dad. But I don't like Eric Bana. I love Eric Bana. Let me just preface this. I love Eric Bana and everything else.
We love Eric Bana. Cannot get enough.
But in this movie, have you ever seen his like original comedy stuff from Australia?
No.
It's fucking hilarious. If you can watch it.
Do not know who this man is. I can like probably picture his face if he was the one who played Bruce Banner in this.
He was, yeah.
Then I can picture his face.
I like him in basically everything else, but like the way it's probably the way he was directed, but like some of the shit in this movie that he does is just fucking awful. It's so bad. It's I don't know. It's not a good movie. It never will be. I can't defend this movie. I can't, and not anymore. It's really bad. It's up there with the likes of Dragon Ball Evolution.
Better or worse than Incredible Hulk?
It's worse than Incredible Hulk by a long shot.
That is saying something. That movie is dog shit.
That movie is also dog shit, but at least it does a few things better.
That's one thing.
There's no, I don't know. It's better. That one's better than Hulk. This is probably the worst superhero movie, besides the Fantastic Four movie that never came out.
I don't know. There was like a 90s fucking Captain America film that was pretty bad.
I'd rather watch that, and I've seen that. Because at least it's funny because it's bad. This movie is like not funny at all. It's just bad.
Fair.
It is 100% the worst superhero adaptation that I've seen. There might be another one.
Yeah, I feel like that probably wasn't true.
I'd rather watch the Japanese Spider-Man show than watch this. I'd rather watch the 70s Hulk show than watch this garbage. It's terrible. 3 out of 10.
Join us again on the next episode of Cold Topic, where we continue our journey to talk about every superhero film ever made.
We'll get to it.
And speaking of that, I watched Morbius.
I'm sorry. I didn't even talk about Morbius because I didn't want to. And I've seen it. I paid $6 for it.
I paid $0 for it. I watched Morbius. So what I gotta say about Morbius is that a lot of people... First off, this is like the most memed on movie ever. They like bullied Sony into re-releasing it so it could fail twice, right?
They really did. They really did.
My favorite part of the movie was when he turns to the camera with like that Jared Leto smirk and just goes, "It's Morbin time." I literally morbed. But
I cannot help but fucking morb.
Morb so hard.
Morb so fucking hard.
This movie, this is going to be controversial. It's not that bad. Is it good?
High.
No, it's not. Is it a little bad? It's a little bad. Yeah, obviously. I'm not crazy. But is it as bad as people say it is? No. Probably because they haven't watched it. Because nobody fucking watched it. And justifiably. No one should watch it.
No one should watch it. It's
Nobody
terrible.
should watch it. It is bad. Don't get me wrong. It is bad. But it's not nearly as bad as everyone says it is. It's just kind of... I think part of the issue is it's also not, like, entertaining bad. It's just kind of, like, bad. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I know. I know what you are saying.
It's just normal bad is the problem with it. Is it better than Monster Hunter? I don't know.
They're both pretty bad.
They're both pretty bad. Yeah, but like the reason I brought up Monster Hunter is because I think you mentioned at one point it was like Morbius or Monster Hunter, and you went with Morbius. They're like the same level. Like they're very close to each other, and they're bad in like the same way. Honestly, is the thing.
Yeah. They're pretty bad.
Where they're just like they're kind of just like poorly conceived. I weirdly enough I saw a Nostalgia Critic review. It's like the first Nostalgia Critic review I've seen in a long time, and he basically like I honestly you could just copy and paste his review here, where because I just kind of agree with him. It's bad, but is it really that bad? No, come on. But it's bad. Don't watch it. It is bad.
No, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad though. It is bad. It's not like. It's not as bad as people say it is, but it's still not. It's Morbius. I haven't talked anything about. Nobody cares. What about? I'm not going to talk about the plot. Normally I talk about like the plot about what happens. Nobody cares. It's Morbius. Whatever. It's bad.
Bad, bro.
It's bad. The best part about the movie is the memes related to the movie.
That's true. Yeah. And the fact that they bullied Sony into re-releasing it.
It's one of the only movies in history to have failed twice. And I love that.
Legendary.
It's great. And the ending credit scene. One thing I'll talk about is it's. I know I talked about this during the DC Marvel thing, but or the during the Marvel movie reviews, but it's really bad. You can tell they're not even in the same room when they recorded the lines. They do not play off of each other at all. It is awful.
Are you talking about the post-credit scene?
Yeah, the post-credit scene with like Vulture, which I didn't see coming, but like even then you have him like talking to like Morbius, and it's like we could really do some good. Okay, and it's like they are not. First off, they are. I don't know if they're being directed, but you can tell they're not in the same room talking to each other. Oh, it's bad. This is a bad movie.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
2 out of 10.
4. Didn't earn its way down far enough for me to give it a 2.
Fair enough.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Have you watched this movie? This is RRR.
No idea what this is.
This is a Tollywood film. It is I believe, the highest budget Indian movie ever created. And I want to be clear. There is no hyperbole in this. This is the greatest action movie I have ever seen in my entire life.
That's a bold statement.
You have to watch this if you can read.
You know damn well I can't read, Zach.
But what I will say for anyone who can read is that it's on Netflix. Just streaming. Netflix streaming. You can watch this right now. This is the greatest action movie I have ever seen in my life, okay? Here's the plot, right? India is being occupied by the British. Everyone hates them. If there's one group, there are 2 villains that pretty much everyone in history hates. The British Empire and the Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Except for maybe the British. I think the British might like the British Empire, but like, I'm sure Nazis like the Nazis, so who gives a fuck? But anyway, India is occupied by the British, and what happens is that a British duchess basically kidnaps a young girl from a small village, basically, and so they send their like shepherd guy, he's called, to go bring her back. But at the other side, there is also a guy who is working for the British, who is actually, and this is a little bit of a plot twist, secretly a revolutionary who's trying to kick the British out of India. And they end up clashing with each other as this guy tries to like make it higher up in like the British military, while the other guy just wants to get the little girl out. This movie is fucking batshit crazy. There's amazing choreographed action scenes and fight scenes. At one point, this is in the early part of the movie, one of them is like running in like a loincloth through a jungle from a wolf, and then as he's running, a tiger comes out of nowhere, and he like dodges the tiger so that it hits the wolf. It's fucking nuts. There's like a choreographed rescue scene where they save a child from a bridge. At one point, a man throws a leopard at another man.
What?
I'm not fucking with you. This scene right here is one of the greatest scenes in the movie, where because they become friends. This isn't just an action movie. It's also a story about friendship, about revolution. There's amazing character arcs and character development, great payoff, amazing symbolism all throughout it, with the themes of fire and water and coming together. There's like what they managed to do with like the shooting in the British, like shooting the British from like the one guy's backstory. At the end, one of the guys, oh my god, holy shit. Okay, anyway, so I'm saying like they have to like save one of their friends from jail, but he can't walk because he got beat too hard. So one of them piggybacks the other guy, puts him up on the shoulders, and then they get like 2 like fucking rifles, and they run through the prison shooting people in like this choreographed action scene. Well, one guy piggybacks the other guy. Oh my god, it's amazing. This whole movie is fucking amazing. It's very long. That is one thing I will say about it. It is very long. It's like fucking over 3 hours. Um, so it's a fucking beefy boy. But like at one point, one of the guys is dressed as like the fucking god Rama, and he's like killing an army, like a full ass like 100-man platoon, or sort of battalion in the fucking woods with a bow and arrow. And like one of them lifts up a motorcycle and hits a guy with a motorcycle. I love this movie. There's like the romantic subplots between the like where the guys like with like these romantic subplots, and then like the one guy's like engaged to his like fiance, but he has to leave her to like go be a revolutionary. This movie is amazing. This movie is amazing. If I can recommend one thing, I've talked about this entire podcast and will talk about this entire podcast, spoilers, fucking go watch this movie. This is, look, I'm going to be honest, all right? If we get a second Cold Topic Awards, fucking movie of the year's already been won. Straight up. Already been won.
Oh, it's not going to Morbius?
No, it's going to this. Easy. Worst movie of the year might go to Morbius. No, this is the best action movie I've ever seen in my life. One of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. And if I can ever fucking find it on Blu-ray, I'm buying it. Because, dear God, I loved this movie. Go watch this movie.
Will do. I probably won't watch it.
Man throws a leopard at another man.
Yeah, but reading.
But a man throws a leopard at another man. Oh, weirdest thing I will say about this is that Netflix's options default the language to Brazilian Portuguese.
It's weird.
What the fuck, Netflix? It's got like two options. It's like, do you want Hindi, which I don't even think this is in Hindi. I don't even think that's the language it used. I think they just call it Hindi. And then it's like, do you want Brazilian Portuguese? And it's like, of those two options, why would you default to Brazilian Portuguese?
It's a weird choice.
There are because it's dealing with the British. By the way, there are multiple scenes in this movie that are in English, so people know that it's not 100% reading.
Okay,
but
this
yes,
is 90%.
85.
Oh, okay,
80. Well, wait. How much are we including the times where men are throwing leopards at other men's?
No, because you wouldn't have to read that.
That's true. Fair enough.
Yeah,
it's great. This movie is amazing. This is the best movie. This is the best movie. We found it. We found the best movie. 9 out of 10. We did it. Everyone can go home now. They made it already.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We did it. Everyone stop making films now. It's done.
It's done.
Okay, yeah, that was it. RRR. I don't want to spoil. There's a lot to say about it, but I don't want to spoil it because I want people to watch it. Go watch it. A lot of people have watched it, by the way. This caught on actually in the West, surprisingly enough. Oh, and this is a modern movie. I think this is a 2022 film.
Neat.
Yeah. All right. I'm done.
All right.
Just watch the best movie ever. Okay. Heading on.
Watch the best movie ever. Bold words from Bold Man.
I'm getting look. Call it like I see him.
Fair enough. All right. The album I've been waiting for all year finally came out. And it's one of the best albums I've heard in a very long time. And I'm not just saying that because it's my favorite band.
Mm-hmm.
This CD is emotionally gripping. They didn't release they saved all the best songs for the CD and not for like the singles, which I thought was a bold move. Because I like the singles, don't get me wrong. They released 5 songs, right? Out of the 12, I believe.
John?
Yeah, they released all. Huh?
I hate to interrupt your flow here.
Yes.
But we have put the album cover up on the screen.
Yes.
And at no point have you told us what this is.
I'm getting there.
Okay. I want to be very clear that like everyone's like we don't know what
Uh-huh,
this is.
uh-huh. Okay,
There's not a single line of text on the screen right now.
the album's called Color Decay. That's why it's in black and white.
Bye.
Devil Wears Prada.
There you go. Now continue.
But yeah, they released 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs. Right? Yeah. 1, 2. Yeah, 5 out of 12. So there were 7 songs that were unheard of, which are the better songs on the album. This album is a fucking masterpiece. The only song that I cannot will sometimes skip is song number 10, which is Fire, which is kind of like a slower song. But other than that, this has some of the best writing from them, because like not only did Mike the vocalist write it, like the keyboardist also wrote shit too for it, so it brought like a different dynamic into the actual like songs, which I thought was cool. And one of the guitarists also threw in some lyrics too, so it wasn't just like one person writing each song. It was like the actual band coming together and writing not just the music but the actual like lyrics for this album as well. And each song kind of flows into like a story until the end, which is like a dead giveaway for like anything for me, because I love that when an album flows like that, especially lyrically. I'm like, it's like fucking like butter for me. I love it. It's good. It's delicious. Put it in everything. I don't give a fuck.
Try
But
Igor by Tyler the Creator.
Yeah. Well, those are like the best, hands down. The best song on this album is 25, which is a mic only song. There's no clean singing in it, and it's just because of the raw emotion of the song and how it is lyrically. It's hands down one of their best songs since probably 2009, which was a very long time ago. This album is in contention to being my favorite album from them, which hasn't been beaten since 2009. So
would that make it your favorite of all time, or is your favorite all time from a different band?
I can't pick a favorite all time like CD.
Okay.
That would be too hard for me. I'd probably be able to narrow it down to a top 5 all time if I had to. And this CD would definitely be in the top 5. There would be 2 Devil's Prada albums in the top 5, which I'd probably just have to put them both in the same slot.
Whoa, 5. Color Decay.
Yeah, it was really good to have this CD come out when it did. This year has been very fun for me.
I was prompting you for the top 5.
I don't know.
I was prompting you and you dropped my prompt.
I would have to really think about that to make it like a legitimate like top 5 CDs of all time. I would have to spend like a good like week listening to a few CDs and then being like, okay, these are my like I would. There's like 20 CDs I know off the top of my head that like I can listen to front to back and consider them like almost 10 out of 10 masterpieces with a couple of 9s and maybe an 8 thrown in there.
You would have to go on some kind of favorite search.
I would have to go on a favorite search, yeah. But yeah, the CD really came to me when I needed it, and I'm glad it did because the boys are back. Their last album was good, but it wasn't this goddamn good.
What was that, C2?
Well, their last full album, their last LP, I should say. Z2 is just an EP, so.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't. When I talk about their albums, I don't consider their concept albums like in those albums, just because they're vastly different. Like they're just a concept album. They have their thing. Like the way Devil Wears Prada does their EPs, they're like, we're gonna do this one about zombies. Okay, we're gonna do this one about space. Okay, hey, let's do zombies again.
Space zombies.
Yay. Also, I did. That was another thing I found too when I went to my grandpa's. I have the comic book from the original Zombie EP release back in 2010, I think it was. Right, something like that. Whenever it came out, but I did find it, and it's in mint condition. I'm pretty pumped about that. But yeah, if you like if you like some good metal, definitely go check this out. Definitely good album. I don't. It might win album of the year. I don't know. There's still a couple albums that are coming out for the rest of the year, and there's still a couple that I still need to listen to. Counterparts also did come out with a new album, but I haven't listened to it enough to actually give it a full review. That's why it's not on here yet. That'll probably be for next month.
Okay.
9.5 out of 10.
Ooh, spicy.
Yep. Yeah.
This album art looks a lot like the like God from Full Metal Alchemist.
Does it?
Yeah. Just throwing that out there.
Okay. Listen to
Okay.
it.
Huh?
Listen to it. It's great. Good stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Exandria Unlimited Calamity. You know, I can't let a D&D campaign go without talking about it. So
Damn.
Calamity dropped. DM'd by Brennan Lee Mulligan of Dimension 20. We've got a dream team. We got Lou Wilson. We got Abria. We got, I think Marisha's in there. She is. We got Sam Riegel. And we got two other people I remember a lot less, but they were very important to the story. I just have not seen enough of them to know who the fuck they are offhandedly. This takes place in Exandria, the Critical Role setting. But this is like thousands of years ago when the calamity that like split the world apart and like caused the divine gate to separate the gods from earth or whatever. It doesn't matter. This entire thing is kind of portrayed as a sort of like Greek tragedy almost, where the arrogance and the hubris of the characters both help lead to, but also help mitigate the damages caused by the betrayer gods, the evil gods in the universe. The most notable one in this is Asmodeus, the Lord of the Nine Hells. And what I have to say is this is probably the perfect cast, right? Because every one of them is so committed to their role and their like own flawed character that everything like comes together perfectly at the end. And all I have to actually say, there is a satisfying amount of character arcs for what 3, 4, maybe 6 episodes. This is a very short campaign. You can watch it in a day, maybe 2 days. I don't exactly remember how many episodes it is. But yeah, it all comes together great. And especially what Sam and Abria did with their characters, because they were like divorced at the end, is absolutely beautiful. Get to see a fucking gigabrain play from Sam at the end with a held healing word to at the end. But I have to say, like, one of my favorite moments is the final combat encounter in this is fucking nuts. Because they basically have to like cast a crazy spell, and like the armies of like their enemies are like coming at them, and like right before they roll initiative, Brennan says 3 rounds, 18 seconds. And like the amount of shit that happens in those 18 seconds, it's crazy. It's like a hybrid of like tragedy and just like it's got, like I said, it's got a very like Greek tragedy kind of feel to it. This is brilliant. This is one of the greatest campaigns of all time. This is like balance level for sure. Like we all know I've talked up Adventure Zone balance. This is probably the only thing I would put at the same level as balance. This is absolutely worth watching. Calamity.
Go watch it. Yeah, watch it. Watch it.
Go watch
Go
it. It's
watch
on YouTube.
it.
It's free.
Free for everyone.
Pretty
but
much.
With ads.
Yeah, with ads. With ads, unless you have YouTube Red.
Which I do not anymore.
Or another way to avoid the ads.
Is there another way?
Maybe. All right. Moving on.
Moving on. Dragon Ball Super fucking Hero.
I'm so sorry.
This movie was all right.
I almost feel like you need to apologize for having watched
what?
this, for giving Toei money and giving Toriyama money for this bullshit. Like, your money, because I assume you watched this in theaters or something, right?
I did. I took my daughter too.
Your money went to funding a man who is, not only has he openly said he's just doing this for a paycheck, at the very least in the past, Toriyama would try for his paycheck. This man came out here and went, Orange Piccolo! I did it! Orange Piccolo! We got Beast Gohan! It's like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, but it looks like that Super Saiyan 5 fan art from a few years ago for Dragon Ball AF. We got Cell. They wouldn't let me use Imperfect Cell before, so now we got Red Imperfect Cell. Ha! Eat a dick, editor that objectively made my story better. I don't have to try. You'll just pay me to watch any fucking bullshit with my name on it. You know what? Let's not even bother animating this fucker 3D animation.
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah. All right, that was my rant. Continue. What'd you think of it?
It was okay. It was exactly what you'd expect it to be.
I feel like I just made what I would expect to be very clear that my expectations were on the bottom of the ground.
Yeah.
Rock bottom expectations.
The Broly movie is still the best of the super movies by far. But this one was all right.
And what is this about?
This is about, Gohan and his real dad.
Yes.
Gohan and his real dad go off to fight. These dudes that are like, you know what, we're gonna bring back the Red Ribbon Army, and they're like, and you know what, we're gonna get Dr. Giro's grandson, and it's a good idea.
Don't you just love that plot of bringing back the Red Ribbon Army for what was this, the 5th fucking time? They're so fucking lazy they can't even make new villains.
Oh, but here's the twist though. His grandson, okay, really doesn't want to be a bad guy. He just likes money.
The worst kind of guy.
The worst kind of guy. He likes money. Just like Mr. Krabs. I like money. And so yeah. Also, yeah, Gohan's finally doing stuff in this game. In this movie. And it's fun to actually watch Gohan do stuff because he's been on the sidelines for a very long time, and people got very upset about that. Which, understandably so. Everyone loves Gohan, and they kind of just we're like, you know what? He's just going to be a nerd that kind of chills out, and we're just going to have Goku do everything.
Fuck Goku.
Yeah, so Goku and Vegeta are in this movie, but they literally do nothing but train, which is fine, because I love Goku and Vegeta, but I want to see more from some of the characters we haven't seen, and we got that. But was it worth it? It was all right. Could have been worse. It wasn't anything to write home about. It's a solid movie, like the power-ups that they do get. Yeah. Cool. Sure.
Orange Piccolo and Beast Gohan.
Bringing back Cell, but not having him talk or do anything fun, which is the best part of Cell.
The best part of Cell? Is his charisma?
Yeah. We got none of that. Zero stakes in this movie, so that was fun. So
it almost sounds like you're talking your rating down as you keep going.
I am, yeah. But it was a good experience because my daughter was like, "This movie was fun." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Glad you enjoyed it." You know, it was our first time going to the movies in a while. First time seeing like an anime movie in theaters too, because I did not take her to see Mugen Train. But yeah, it's a solid 6.5. That is not as good as Broly. But it's so fun to watch, and like the 3D animation, like at first, like you're kind of like whatever, but you know you get kind of used to it after a while, and then you're like, you know what, this looks all right. They should
You're
have just did a
contributing to the
regular
lower
animation.
standards of the anime industry.
They should have just did a normal animation, but they didn't. 6.5, solid.
Okay. Ready to move on?
It's just okay, yeah.
I will watch this movie eventually when it comes to like Crunchyroll or something.
It will.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
2. Anime Dartboard. The segment of the podcast that is currently on this podcast for now, where it's a book club and we watch anime.
Well,
we
we're gonna
watched...
change the format?
Huh?
We changed the format?
With what? I mean, it's not going to be on the podcast. I'm going to move it off the podcast at some point.
Fair enough.
After the inevitable death of the podcast, it will not be on the podcast. It will be on a different program.
I won't let it die.
Huh?
I won't let it die. I might have to make a delay. I won't let it die.
Okay. We watched Ninja Scroll, the CV series, but someone made a promise and a commitment that they would watch the original movie first. So, John, what did you think of the original Ninja Scroll movie?
I don't remember jack shit because I watched it 2 months ago, but I remember it being all right.
Okay. What did you think of Ninja Scroll, the TV series?
It was fucking awful.
Agreed.
It was not good. The only thing I remember was the guy raping the girl in like episode 4 or something like that.
No, he attempted to rape the girl in episode 4.
Oh no,
yes. Sorry. Yes, it was an attempt. Nope.
I think you lost.
There was
I can't hear you.
Definitely an attempt at a rape. Whether it was successful or not, I do not remember.
I think it was semi-successful, and then homie jumps in. He's like, you know, you shouldn't be doing that. And he's like, you're right.
Something like that. I don't remember. Yeah, it was like Tree Woman, right? Wasn't it like
Tree
Bug
Woman,
Guy
yeah.
trying to rape Tree Woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very bad. This is very bad.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not good.
This is definitely not good. I especially appreciate that I hate everyone in this. That no one, the only redeemable character is the girl, and I barely remember anything about her.
Yeah, the voice acting is god awful.
Did you appreciate that one of our main characters was a thief who, upon our first meeting with this character, attempted to sell the main heroine into sex slavery? And he's just like, he's supposed to be one of the hero characters we follow.
Yeah, it sure is a movie.
It's certainly a TV series. And then like everyone's just out for like the money, and I hate everyone in this. Everyone is bad. The show is bad, and it's so fucking boring. The fights in this, they're so boring.
Yeah.
He like finishes like every fight in like one hit. And then at the end, like the two main villains just like fucking talk to each other over a volcano.
Can we also shout out like the fact that the sound design team didn't even try to hide the fact that they're just reusing a whole bunch of random assets, like sounds that have been in Dragon Ball Z, the Proton Pack Charge Up sound, and there was one other that I can't remember.
Oh, I didn't notice, but I would super believe you. Yeah, it's animated like shit. The characters aren't likable. The story is stupid and like I won't say stupid. It's very basic, right? And the fight scenes are boring. Like I don't think anything in this actually works.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I thought I might like it because this is the same guy that did fucking the thing I watched, right? Fucking what's it called?
I don't know.
The thing I made told me to watch.
This is Tetsuo Sato is the director of this.
I could have sworn somebody said I was.
Oh, you're thinking of you're thinking of Wicked City, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I do not think that's true. No, it isn't. It
Hmm.
isn't. It is not true. No.
Okay.
So that might be part of it. Yeah, this is awful. Um, Nothing really to say about it. It's actually, I think, too bad to have continual commentary about.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, ready to spin the dart?
Let's spin it.
All right, here we go. All right.
I'm gonna give it a solid 3 out of 10.
Oh, 4.
4.
All right. Shuffle. Shuffle.
Shuffle.
Shuffle. Okay, it was almost Boogie Pop, but it wasn't. It wasn't Boogie Pop. It was something called Hanada-kun.
Ew, Hanada-kun.
Which is why the Ninja Scroll movie is good. Yeah, it was Ninja Scroll the movie. Hanada-kun. What the fuck?
Oh, the movie was made by. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting. Isn't I think this is a prequel series, but that's okay because it's a prequel. Hated by everyone around him. Sai Hanada. Oh, sorry. Hanada-kun is a summer 2016 anime by Dio Media. Hated by everyone around him. Sei Hanada goes about his high school life regarded as an outcast, or at least that's what he believes. In reality, Sei is the most popular student on the campus, revered by all for his incomparable calligraphy skills, good looks, and cool personality. However, due an endless series of misunderstandings, Hanada perceives the worship he receives from his legion of fans as bullying, leading the school's idol to shut himself off from the rest of his classmates. But distancing himself from his peers doesn't deter them from adoring him. In fact, his attempts at drawing attention away from himself often end up unintentionally converting even the most skeptical of students into believers. Fashion models, shut-in delinquents, obsessive fangirls, and more. None can stand against the brilliance that is Sei Hanada. Its tags are school, visual arts, and its drama. Its genre is comedy.
This is a big change of pace, so this might be interesting.
Yeah, it seems like a slice of life comedy. Shonen demographic. See, this dude did a lot of storyboard work. This is Yoshitake Koyama. He did this. He did Maho Senshi Louie.
Is that My Life with Louie, the Japanese version?
No. It's Rune Soldier. He did Rune Soldier. Something called Miami Guns, which I now need to know what this is.
Miami Guns.
Miami Guns. Spoiled rich girl Yao Sakuroji decides to join the Miami police force to enjoy car chases, gunfights, and wanton destruction. The psychotic and not too bright Yao is partnered with Lou Amano, the soft-spoken, sharp-tongued daughter of the police chief. Together, the dirty duo clean up the streets of Miami and take on the mysterious crime syndicate known only as the Organization.
Welcome to Miami, Mr. Worldwide.
Okay, well, this does not seem to have been dubbed, so this will not be going on the dartboard, but how epic would that have been if we got a dartboard ad right on the middle of the stream? This is a Barakuman prequel. Yeah, okay, I knew it had something to do. What the fuck is Barakuman? Why? Oh, yeah, this is the guy who... Yeah, this is about a calligrapher. I hear this is good. I don't know why I wanted to watch this. I feel like I saw a clip or two of this, and I'm like, that looks pretty watchable. I think that was my motivation for watching Hanada-kun. I think so.
Fair enough.
I think that's it. I think I've seen some clips from it. I'm like, that looks kind of funny. I haven't seen Barakuman, so I have no idea. I know of Barakuman, but it never interested me. So I think it is clip based. I think I've just seen clips from this, and it not Miami Guns. I'm gonna watch Miami Guns one day, but yeah. Okay, that's Hanedakun. Average score is 7.36. Anyone I know seen this? No,
I haven't.
Nope. Okay. Yeah. What are you feeling about Hanedakun?
It could be. It's definitely a change from the last couple we've had.
What are the last couple?
Ninja Scroll, the Malcolm in the Middle one.
Oh, here's a fun fact. I have interest stacks on my Mal page.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! It's got my top 10 of 2017, top 10 of 2018, top 10 of 2019, all of the anime where I watched 100 anime in 1 month. This is the most popular one because it's the only one publicly available. I did a step-by-step chronological order guide for the entire Monogatari series. Like, in insane amounts of detail. See? And then a list of my top 20 favorite anime of all time. But here we go. Anime Dartboard. Ninja Scroll the series. DNA Squared. Oh, no. It's kind of similar to DNA Squared. DNA Squared was great. And Sukiete Nayo. And then Frag Time. So it's actually not that different from the things we've been doing.
Okay.
It's different than like Ninja Scroll, but like compared to like the last three, it's actually probably right around the same area. That kind of gets broken by Kato. Although we've had a string of like, because Ninja Scroll sucked and DNA was great. This is the only thing we ever simultaneously gave an 8 to. But like everything before that was like, ugh. Like we had like 3 bad ones before that.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe this one would be good.
Oh, yeah. We had 3 bad ones, so now we're due for 3 good ones, right?
No, that's never how it works.
Well, could be.
You never know. But judging by how it's gone the last, 23 times now? I mean, what episode are we on now?
This will be 27.
Yeah. So we haven't had a couple bangers in a row, you know. I think we've gotten to two in a row. That's like our maximum for like.
Well, let's go through this. Servant Service, Black Bullet, Magical Warfare, Skycrawlers, Wizard Barristers, Pat Labor, Boy and His Beast. No. Okay, hold on. 1, 2. Boy and His Beast. Personally, I don't think Boy and His Beast is a banger, but you did at the time. So we'll say Boy and His Beast, Gakigarashi, Eve no Jinken. That's 3 in a row right there.
Okay.
That's 3 hits right there. Game of Laplace you liked, so you actually reached 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then Oranu Machine Gun you weren't as into. I enjoyed, but that's still not a very high streak. Paranoia Agent. Okay, we had Love Live, which was immediately counteracted by Momode Lollipop. Then we had that one, which was immediately counteracted by Mahotsu Kai. You're Under Arrest, but that was followed by Nazca. Wow, okay. So it was really good at the beginning and has gotten progressively worse as time has gone on.
Sounds about right.
Which was then followed by Taboo Tattoo, which was then followed by Maria, which was good. And then a second combo with Battle Athletes, and then that falls off with Kaido, and then Frag Time, and then this one, which is then broken up by DNA Squared, which is then followed by Ninja Scroll. So if we're analyzing it, we get 2 bad ones in a row, then 2 good ones in a row, then 3 bad ones in a row, then 1 good one in a row, and then the cycle repeats. So we got 1 good one, so we're looking at 2 bad ones and then 3 good ones. There you go. Look forward to that.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
All right. I think we're done here, right?
Yeah, I think we're all set. Thank you very much. Thank you all so much for watching. We've had a great time tonight. It's been fun. It's good to be back. Sorry, it's been delayed so much, but with everything going on, there's always MasterCard.
Mm-hmm. I will be doing Resident Evil 6. The next stream will be the last one, and then Horror Month will be going into maybe Mask of the Lunar Eclipse for Fatal Frame 4. Kuwan and Tormented Souls should be going on, and then we'll be following that up with Mega Man. Probably not going to get that through by the next podcast, which I suppose, if it's supposed to be first Thursday of the month, is going to be the 4th of November. We'll see if I can do that. That one might be a scheduling issue. No, that's Saturday. Ugh. Oh no. The 3rd of November. Well, that's probably more okay. I guess we'll see. Anyway, yeah, that's what I got going on. You ain't got nothing going on, right?
Not currently.
Yep.
I will update when I can figure out what a new schedule would look like.
Okay then.
Yeah.
I am shocked at how quickly we got through this podcast. That's some efficiency.
Me too. Well, I mean, most of it was just Fast and Furious.
And I don't regret it.
I remember you sent me the list. I'm like, that's a lot of furiousness.
Well, keep in mind, like, the 2 months, right? We're over 2 months, right? Theoretically. Of podcast delays, every week, one Fast and the Furious movie.
True.
I've watched some Fast and the Furious movies, whatever.
Yeah, and I've somehow had less to talk about in 2 months than I've had in previous months, where it's been a month.
I'll probably have less to talk about next time, but you can enjoy my review of Final Fantasy X-2, I guess. It's probably
my goal is to beat 2 games within the next 2 weeks.
Ooh, which 2? Give us a
no
taste.
Spoilers.
Give us a little taste.
Well, one has some guns and the other one has some not guns.
Understood. Stripper Party Nightmare the Third. It's a pretty solid game.
It's Honey Pop.
Oh.
No, I played that like a while ago.
Sorry, I had a PTSD flashback. Fucking kitty questions.
All the kitty questions.
Fucking stop with the kitty questions. They patched it. They patched it, though. They fixed it. They fixed it for you playing the easy version if you play Honey Pop now.
I played that, I think, right after you talked about it.
Yeah, you played the easy version. They patched it within like a month or 2 of the game coming out. Because I had it pre-ordered. Okay. Yeah. They fixed it. They fixed it a long time ago. They fixed it years ago.
Also, shout out to your Torchic finally evolving into Blaziken.
That's a Combusken.
Is it? Oh, it is. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It evolved.
It did. Yeah, it turned into a Combusken. And my Velvet Room has turned into the Persona 5 Velvet Room. Y'all can read into that what you want. Anyway.
And Bulbasaur will never evolve because I gave him an Everstone.
Well, it is a Blaziken for Aunt topic, but it's because I can just toggle. Woo!
On Topic is coming back.
This is almost an On Topic episode, honestly.
We almost got there.
But I didn't have the wine, so. Anyway, this has been Cold Topic episode. I don't know. Who cares? Been here with my co-host, ConquertheJohn, and I've been Sacrabalic, your Envoy of Hope. Show up Thursday, November 3rd for more of this. Why is my spoon magnetizing to my cup?
That's a good question. To which I don't have the answer to.
What the fuck is happening?
Magic.
Bye-bye!
Bye!
And now I have this set to a slide.